Footsteps echo in the hollow night. Street lights flicker like they're scared of the fight. In my chest, a fire. No peace to find, the beast inside it claws my mind. Crimson shadows dance in my head. A thousand screams, the words left unsaid. I walk the line where the living tread. One step closer, the hunger's fed. Mirror cracked, my reflection's alive. Eyes like razors cutting the sky. Fingers twitching, my hands are tied. But the urge is a flood I can't deny. Crimson shadows dance in my head. A thousand screams, the words left unsaid. I walk the line where the living tread. One step closer, the hunger's fed. Whispers crawl like snakes in my brain. Every heartbeat pounding like rain. Is it madness or just my chain? The desire rises, sweet and insane. Crimson shadows dance in my head. A thousand screams, the words left unsaid. I walk the line where the living tread. One step closer, the hunger's fed.
All right, all right, all right. Happy Friday, Jeff.
Hey, how you doing?
How's it going, buddy?
I was going to turn my camera off and it was already off. Well, it's on now. What the hell?
I am 12 gauge, and this is
This is Jeff H.
Jeff H. Everyone's
Hey.
cup of tea.
Yeah, right.
You know, Jeff, it's been a while since we were up on this panel together, you know? It's been a lot going on as far as the true crime world. Have you been have you been catching up with any of the other cases that are floating around out there?
Not too much, but I did find myself like looking at a bunch of what's her name, Taylor Shabusiness stuff today.
Yeah.
Man, there's something when you just watch her brow and her expressions, and it's almost like it's like I would think like it's a really good actor doing this, like a really professional actor. I'm not saying she is. I don't think she is. I think she's really good. There's something not wired correctly up there. But it almost looks like is she just sitting there doing nothing, just sitting there. It's like, an actor like, getting ready for a scene, like, okay, got to get into character. And yeah, the facial expressions are just very bizarre.
You know,
she
it's
seems to
terrible.
find humor when there's nothing humorous, right?
Right. It's terrible when you look at somebody like that and you wonder, are they acting or are they being genuine? You
Right.
get what I'm saying? Like, is this an act or is this person being genuine, what I'm seeing? Is this insanity really that profound?
Right. Right.
I
I mean,
always,
I think I've had experience, seeing people that weren't quite all, together, and it's a little frightening because you just don't know what they're gonna do. It's like like some people have fear of pit bulls, you know, they seem normal, they seem everything's good, and then you just wonder all the stories you hear that I think are maybe a little over exaggerated. I know a lot of people with pit bulls, and there's not an issue whatsoever. But you know, you just wonder, it's like normal 1 second, and then the next second, what is up? Hey,
Yeah, I
Mary
mean,
Jane.
and that's what we deal with in this true crime arena, as well as real life. I mean, because as you know, I work in the law enforcement genre, um, and I see a lot of mental health issues floating through some of my clients, some of their family members, stuff like that. And when you see it in real life, you know, when you're exposed to it, it really gives you a different perspective on what the state of our mental health domain is in our world today. There's really not a
Yeah.
lot of there's not a lot of places that people can go to get some mental health assistance, which is really sad.
Yeah. I knew a guy, used to talk to him every now and then, but he had like, I don't know if I think he might have like schizophrenia, but he would
Hmm.
hear voices. And I remember him just, we were just walking down the sidewalk. He was telling me about it. And he said, you know, he's got meds to help keep everything together. But I was asking him, so like, you'll just be walking down and you'll hear a voice and sounds like it's right there talking to you. Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't even imagine.
I can't either. I mean, that's what makes these killers and these individuals that harm other people so dangerous, man, because you just never know what somebody's
Right.
thinking as they're walking into a store, as they're walking into a school, anything like that. You know, you don't know what they're thinking, what they're capable of anymore. I mean, it's pretty sad when you have to walk into an area and kind of gauge your surroundings. I don't know if you do that or if you're a lot more mindful of your surroundings now in this day and
Right.
age, or, you know, if you really still have that protective bubble over you.
Yeah, you know, what's that expression? You know, keep your head on a swivel. You know, always
Right.
kind of be aware of your surroundings, because man, it happens so fast. You know, 1 second everything's fine, the next second there's a person in your face, and who knows what they're about to do to you.
That
But yeah,
is
the other
a
thing it made me think of, like with the people, you know, not you're not sure, you know, what's quite wrong with a person and what could go wrong. The something it made me think of. I don't know if you remember that semi truck that went by a YouTuber named Burger Planet. He became kind of famous because he's sitting doing a live stream in his car, and all of a sudden this truck just goes like 90 miles down the shoulder, and then maybe about, you know, I don't know, I'm not good with distances, but there's a bridge. It blows up, you know, and kills a bunch of people. And it was the brakes had gone out on this truck apparently, and this guy didn't know how to stop. I mean, it's basically like a runaway train.
right,
And you
right.
know, I mean, it looks like a normal truck. I'm sure you know, you see it, but there was like video cams of people that saw it miles before the accident, and it looked like, you know, he's coming down hills, and it looked like you could tell he was having problems. So, yeah, it's kind of similar to that. You see little hints of problems, and then all of a sudden there's this huge explosion when it's like totally out of control.
You know, and that kind of leads into what we're going to talk about tonight. Before I go any further, I'd like to give Plunder the credit for being able to have these videos and, you know, be kind enough to share with the community, um, and to be able to, you know, give her part that she didn't have to share with anybody. You know what I mean? The
Right,
ability
right.
that she shares all the information that she does with the true crime community, that is wonderful. She's a very kind person, and the docket as well. You know, you can go and get on his Patreon and get a lot of stuff as well. They do a lot of hard work behind the scenes. You know, so I'd like to give Plunder and the docket a shout out and thank you so much in advance for what we're about to show tonight. because it did come from her channel. It didn't come from mine or anything like that. So Plunder is an amazing person, you know.
Yeah, I think I had signed up for her Patreon once before, and it lapsed. But I just signed up for it tonight, so I'm back on there. But yeah,
Uh,
she's got just a wealth of stuff that being a Patreon member, you know, that's kind
yeah,
of I saw stuff that I really wanted to download. It's like, oh, got to be a Patreon member. It's like, okay, you know, it's not like she's asking for $1 million. It was very affordable, so
right, right.
you know.
Yeah, that's I did a little bit too. I pledged a little bit to get some of the stuff that I've gotten, but she's a wealth of knowledge, and it's not she doesn't enhance or take away from the best of my ability that I know. It's pretty what you call
Just
it?
presents it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is original. It is, right off the press. So I appreciate that too, that it's not all trampled over with and stuff like that. So you and I have a history of this case that we're talking about tonight, right?
Hmm.
Idaho. We've been talking about Idaho for 3 years now, you and I, off and on. Um, and we've seen a lot of things develop even before any of these videos or body cams, any of the stuff that we've been prevalent to lately. The gag order lifted, all that. We've been kind of investigating it on our own together, late nights, overlaying. You've done the overlays, you've done all this, we've had conversations. Is there anything that intrigues you from all the stuff that's really been released lately that you could say, wow, that is that is something that I've always wondered, or I'm glad that they finally released that.
Well, I mean, the body cams of the officers responding that morning is very compelling. The interviews. I will say that when I listen to the interviews and the body cams, I mean, I can't imagine hearing it the way some hear it. They hear,
Right.
it's almost like they're hearing a different language. I mean, I don't sit there and listen and think, oh my gosh, that Dylan is lying. She's just telling stories, and I mean, I hear somebody that's really just trying to remember. I mean, can you remember all the details from last night? And if just like that in an instant, you were required to. Not
No.
necessarily required to, because I'm sure right now she's wishing she had never said a word. She should have said, "Look, I was drunk and I don't remember nothing." If she'd have known what was going to come her way because of it. Although I will say that I mean, finances don't bring back dead friends, unfortunately. But
Right.
there is at least is the GoFundMe that I think she is deserving of every penny for all that she has been put through. With this, so all the YouTubers that come down on her, they're that's part of a big motivation for me to send her something, because I feel for her. She's trying to recall the night before, sharing anything and everything. Don't police officers say just whatever, just call us, whatever something comes to your memory, no matter how small it might seem to mean nothing to you, but it might be a piece that we're missing. That's all she's doing. That's all that I hear, and I can't hear it the way that it's being heard.
Well, I mean, to be fair to everybody involved, and one thing that I want people to know right off the bat is we're going to view these videos tonight for the first time. I forwarded them to Jeff this morning, and I've watched probably enough to make shorts out of them, and that was it. But want you to know that, whatever your thoughts are, whatever your beliefs are, whatever it is, it's okay. We're
Right,
not
right.
we're not defending or allocating guilt tonight. It's okay. It's okay to ask questions, because honestly, there are a lot of questions to be asked, even in the little bit that we've watched on these cars. I mean, Jeff has made some interesting observations that we could very well be like, well, what is that? Is that what you think it is? What do your eyes see? What do you perceive? And in no way, I want you to know this if you're watching, in no way are we trying to push any kind of narrative. I myself am beyond trying to convince anybody of what I feel or I believe. I mean, I believe one way, and working in that domain, it's hard to look away from certain things that you see, especially whenever, like the PCA. I look at probable cause affidavits almost on a daily, and I read them. I have yet to run across a 19-page PCA. The PCAs that I usually get are probably 3 paragraphs long, signed off by the officer that investigated that, and so on. And then it just builds on to kind of like what we've seen, the case investigation, and then ultimately leading into the trial and blah, blah, blah. So it is an investigative process that, um, behind the scenes, a lot of people don't get that kind of insight. They don't get that insight to see exactly how the process goes.
Hmm.
Could could the police have made some mistakes? Of course. Could the investigators have missed some things? Could they misconstrued evidence? Very doubtful. Could the forensic people have messed up? I don't believe any of us really know that answer, or whether we'll ever know that answer, because unless we were there investigating and saw them mess up, then we really don't know what went on behind the scenes. We're only given so many, so many teeth into the whole case. So, that is what makes this case so intriguing, and I believe that that's why people continue to show up and ask these questions, because they really want to know for themselves. Could this have been the guy? Did they get it right? But at the same time of asking that question, did they get it right? You can't stay on one side and say, well, they got it wrong because of this, this, and this. Because, like I just said, unless we were there side by the investigators, we don't know exactly, other than what we've seen, what went on in this investigation. Does that make sense?
Right, it's very much like the game of Clue. Like in the end, we've taken in like the little that we know, and then we come to a conclusion. Okay, I believe it was Colonel Mustard with the pipe wrench in the library. And then,
Right.
like, if you play the game Clue at the end, they pull the 3 cards out and you find out how close to correct you were. And that's the thing that makes it is this so compelling is like, we'll never know 100% sure. And that's what makes it, we could go on talking about this case forever because it's so open ended. Um, if you like open-ended conversations, it's like, well, this one talking about like religion, the beginning of the earth, all that kind of stuff. I mean, because you can't really reach the answer. That's the thing. And I'm okay with not being with the idea that you can't really reach the answer and know for sure. I just enjoy and find compelling the conversation about it.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, the conversation, because I love the conversation with anybody with any opinion, and you kind of help me stay grounded because I know I do find myself finding more interesting the discussions with those in opposition. It allows you to challenge your own beliefs and thoughts and conclusions when you listen to theirs. Hopefully, they allow you to share yours as well and just have a discussion. And oftentimes it gets ugly, and that's the unfortunate part of it. I would like to think that I don't want it to get ugly. I'd like to think that I don't cause it to get ugly. I know they probably would not say that, but on the other side, but I think it's I like what you said. And it's the way I used to be a little more. I think after the plea deal, I think my patience isn't the same as it used to be. Because before the plea deal, I was very much like, we don't really know for sure. We're just all spitballing, sharing our opinions and conclusions. But after the plea deal, it just seemed like, or like if you think about like what's J.B. Gunner. Remember J.B. Gunner kind of came to the conclusion the moment he heard, not the moment, but around the time he heard that Brian had bought a K-Bar USMC knife sheath,
Mhm.
combination. And it's like, okay, come on, this is just a little, you know, the coincidence is just, a little too much. But again, I do like the conversation, and there are some places I feel I can go, and we can have the conversations. And people, they might poke at me because I'm the guy that is the opposition, and I feel like I can take it because I don't really care. I mean, I don't care what people say about me personally or my thoughts or call me stupid or whatever. We're still having the conversation. you know.
Right.
Now, it does cause me to get a little snarky with them in response. So I would like to think that I don't go in there trying to start something, but I will respond to all the stuff that's thrown at me right off the bat for no reason. And I'm like, okay, I like humor. And I like to be snarky about it. So,
Well, I guess that's something that I never really expected. Um, when I started my channel, I didn't expect the whole intense pushback that comes along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought that people would they'd be um, logical enough to know that I either follow this guy because I have similar um, understanding of what he's talking about, or I don't. If I don't, then I'm not really going to follow this guy. That's what I believed.
mhm.
But it didn't happen that way. And you've been on some lives where we've been talking just like we are right now, and people just they just bust in the door and start calling us names and all this other stuff. And to me, that's wild. That would be like us having a conversation in your living room over some coffee and whatever, and somebody busts in your door and says, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You don't know what you are talking about." We're like, "What in the world did just came through the front door?"
Why do I
You
picture Oprah like, you're an idiot, you're an idiot, you get
you
an
get
idiot
what I'm
badge,
saying?
you get an idiot.
Not that
Right.
people, and I believe that people are passionate about this case. I really do believe that they have a passion for it. Otherwise, they wouldn't keep listening to it months
Hmm.
later, years later. But
Well, Kylie was saying something regarding that, about why are people still talking about it because of, oh, if the case was such a slam dunk, then why are people still looking into it? I
hmm
mean, it. I think it goes to, like I was saying earlier. Just there's nobody knows for absolute certain. You know, it's almost like we all watched a long movie and then they left the end off. It explains everything, ties it up with a nice bow, and it's complete. Um, which is why it's so compelling, and so it's amazing, and because we can just talk about it and talk about it. It's like, well, this is what I think happened. It's like good art or good poetry. It's like you ask somebody that's an artist. It's like, well, what does the poem mean, or what does the song lyrics mean? They're most likely they're going to be like, I'd rather not say. I'd rather just leave it open and let you figure out what it means to you, and
Right.
what you conclude.
Rather not say. Rather
Um,
just leave it open and let you.
and who knows? Maybe that was. I wonder if they discussed that when they discussed the plea deal. Um, I don't
Well,
know. I was
let me
just watching.
give.
You ever watch Profiles? Is it Profiles in Evil? I think it was that guy who used to be a cop or something. I was watching his show today, and he was talking about the. He was talking about how Brian's sister was on the list of people to the prosecution's list, and that the plea deal came very shortly after that. So he was kind of concluding that that had something to do with the desire for the plea deal. That he didn't want the thought of having his sister testify. Was like, no, don't. I rather not go. What do you think about that?
Actually going to court and being involved, working with the DA and working, with the prosecutor and defense attorneys and actually being on the stand myself, I have this understanding of what really goes on behind the scenes. Granted, it's not a quadruple homicide that most of these cases that I'm sitting through are that are being tried, but you know what? There's still crimes and felonies nonetheless. So what usually happens is, there are meetings that go on behind the scenes between the attorneys, and it's almost like it costs a lot of money to go to trial, especially for something as huge as this would have been. So I believe that the plea deal was kind of like on the back burner all along. Maybe early on and didn't want it, and she was going to fight for him. And if you're looking at that on a prosecuting side, well, that goes to your favor because then you can't be accused of not allowing the defense to go above and beyond for their client. So if there won't be no sense of an appeal because that is one of the criteria that has to be met in order for an appeal to actually be granted, right? That's what we've heard. So I believe everything that we've seen and heard from Anne and what ultimately happened was probably going behind the scenes. And it was kind of because you remember, Jeff, at the very beginning, she started talking about the death penalty right off the bat.
Yeah, we've had conversation about this. I remember that. Yeah.
Right
Yeah,
off
because
the
I
bat.
was I remember thinking and feeling like, wow, is she representing a guy in a murder trial, or is she taking this moment to use it as a platform for her strong feelings against the death penalty? It was starting to feel that way. It's like this is all seemingly so focused on what's wrong with the death penalty.
Right off the bat. She
Yeah, yeah.
started, we were talking about mitigation and, taking the death penalty off and how we were going to go into, if the client was guilty, how she wanted this to happen and that to happen. You know what I mean? So it's like that always struck me as odd. Why would you bring, I mean, that might be a procedure. I'm not an attorney, but that might be a procedure that you start off just in case. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But it seemed odd that they were focused on getting the death penalty off the table and a fair trial. So think about those two aspects right there. If you're on the prosecution, that's what you want too, right? Because those are two of the factors that would grant an appeal had he been found guilty. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? Because misrepresentation or not a strong enough attorney-based representation would have been one right off the bat. He could have used that as an appeal, and obviously a fair trial. Well, this man didn't get a fair trial because of this and this and this. Okay, well, that could have been granted as an appeal. So those two things seem to have been the highlight throughout the whole circus that we saw leading up to the eventual plea deal,
Yeah.
which was I always thought was interesting. She never, like in the suppression hearings, she didn't. move to suppress the camera evidence. She didn't move to suppress the Amazon stuff. She didn't move to suppress any of that. She moved to suppress words. Psychopath, sociopath. Um, what'd you say? Bushy eyebrows. Wasn't that in the suppression hearing? Am I right,
Okay.
or am I getting it confused with the motion to eliminate?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't want to say for sure. I don't remember.
Okay, but you
But you're
get my
right. Yeah, getting rid of some words, and then really painting a picture of the idea that that he wasn't capable of this kind of thing. With his medical history stuff and all that. So it's
Do you
um,
believe that Anne had to have seen this because this is Discovery? She would have had to see these videos that we're about to watch. Couldn't she have said, just like YouTube Land says, well, it's too dark. You can't see that that's my client's Elantra. You can't
right.
see that that's an Elantra. You cannot tell that that's anybody driving that car. Well, that's what people believe how a trial, how an attorney would be talking, right? That's not how it goes. They're just not going to pluck certain things out of the blue and talk about them. If this was not relevant information based on the storyline that they were trying to defend or argue towards, this
Hmm.
might have not even made it to trial. Just because it was an investigative tool that they used to potentially have a suspect in mind does not necessarily mean that this would have been something that would have been argued for or against in the eventual trial had we had one. Does that make sense?
Now, do you think Anne and maybe defense attorneys, this happens too a lot. Do you think they have like the conversations? Hey, Nookie, they have the conversations in the courtroom and with their client. But do you think when they're home with somebody, their significant other, they're like, "This guy's so guilty." I mean, I just watched all the video. I mean, what are the chances that a white Elantra is acting this way? Is in all these places, looks just like his. He just You'd think the odds would be that he would be home in bed that night. What's the chances that a car just like his is out and he's out, his phone's
But
off,
but
all this.
you're looking at this in retrospect. You're looking at this in hindsight. Imagine seeing this, what we're going to look at here in a minute. Imagine seeing this for the first time on this camera. Let's start a little bit because I don't want to keep our audience hostage. Hey, Nanook.
Come here, boy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Say hi.
Imagine seeing this for the first time as an investigator, as somebody that is in the. I've heard multiple people say that Detective Payne was the one that was investigating this. That he should have known that this wasn't Brian's car. Okay, that
I'm
in
gonna take him
itself.
outside while you set it all up. I'll be right back.
Okay, that in itself would say that this individual was leading the whole investigation. That he was a forensic expert. That he was a digital camera guy. That he was able to decipher all this stuff that only happens in the movies. There are teams of people delegated for different aspects of the investigation. So whoever delegated was delegated to see this area of video format would have been proficient in this area. Now, if you're given this information to the detective as what you see, then he still would not be the one investigating the video footage. So the fact that he would say, I don't know, I don't recall, or it wasn't given to me. We're told to say those three things if we don't know, we don't recall, or we don't have that information because we're not allowed to lie on the stand. So let's take a look at this. 11/13/2022, 2:43:57. Okay? And people have said, well, this time does not reflect the same thing at the bottom of the screen. How do we know this time wasn't? How do we know who put this time in here and what it really means? Because I don't see, damn it, come on. Are you kidding me? What the hell is up with this? Stupid. I'm sorry. I clicked on the stupid Explorer thing on the side because I'm trying to scroll this. So this at the bottom says 11/13/2022, 4:44:52 at 9:37. So I would believe that these would probably be coordinates of where this camera is located. The traffic extension, Stadium in Nevada, north to 150, camera number 1. So Jeff and I were discussing this, and right there, you have a good view of what appears to be a white vehicle making a right-hand turn. Whether you believe that's an Elantra or whether you believe it's not, tell
How
me
would you
more.
how would you determine that it's an Elantra?
I don't know.
Does
And you had
anybody in chat know? Like, what would you do? What would be the process to determine if that's an Elantra? I have my method.
well, also you asked me earlier about the floodlights. Well,
Hmm.
these are on, but in other footage did we see this car? These lights aren't on. So did he turn them off? See, there's that car going through, and then that's obviously a bigger vehicle. So that's a good question. How do we not know that it's not an Elantra? How do you get to that rational reasoning other than just saying, well, that's not an Elantra? That's not a vehicle of interest.
Right,
Because,
because if I were to come to the conclusion that's not an Elantra because a YouTuber that I heard said it wasn't, that unfortunately wouldn't be good enough for me. I've got to go figure it out for myself, and hopefully most people I think are probably like that too. But it's a good question though about the fog lights. I mean, this, and I'm going to reveal that I'm not afraid to look at footage and look down a path that could lead to like,
okay,
oh, maybe this isn't his Elantra or something, right? But the photos of the Elantra in the garage, the police garage. Oh, what's the best photos we have that show that he's got fog lights
I'm going to
that
show
we
you.
definitely know is his car?
I'm slowing this down because some of these are really fast. Like this turn right here is going to be really fast. It's not like these lights were set up to be like, okay, we're about to capture something good, so let's let's make sure we get a good shot. Because think about this, we're looking this through observation bias. We're looking at this and going, okay, based on what I know, this could or could not be his vehicle. See, you can't really tell right there what kind of vehicle that is. I can't. With good conscience, I can't tell that that's the same vehicle. But at the same time, do you see any other vehicles in the vicinity of where this vehicle was spotted? Because think about all the cameras that were used to decipher the route. and what this vehicle was going, especially in that location. So if you
Hmm.
have other camera footage that showed this vehicle passing a gas station or passing this, and then all of a sudden you know that there's a stoplight camera up ahead, and then you see the same type vehicle passing through that where you got a definitive look of the vehicle further up the road, how can you tell yourself with good conscience that car disappeared and this one reappeared in its place?
Right, right.
Do you get what I'm saying by
Yeah,
that, Jeff?
almost like you'd have Penn and Teller sitting in their chairs, saying, "I see what happened there. The car switched. It's a different car now we're looking at." Not saying that's impossible, but I think in general, especially, it's unfortunate for those that look at law enforcement and can only see like a corrupt cop, corrupt investigator, can't stop and think for a moment this is a family man or woman that's investigating, lives in this town, cares about this town, cares that these kids were killed like this, and knows that their kids could just have easily been in that situation, going to the same college. Maybe they even already do, and maybe they're a similar age. That this officer just wants to help solve this crime, which I think that desire is a lot stronger, and that's the true desire, rather than what many might think is a desire to cover it up or to find a patsy or to pin it on somebody. That. But as you're looking into this and you start, I mean, to be a fly on the wall and to be like, okay, we have a blank slate, or like, in investigations, they get the wall with the pins and the red strings and everything. Things are
Right.
starting to, as when it starts blank, that's very frustrating. But you start adding things start to make sense, and they start to make more and more sense as time goes, if you're on the right path. And I think as they started down looking at this guy going to Pennsylvania in his Elantra with his dad, I think they, by that point, they were like, there is a lot that points to this guy, and there's nobody else that it points to in this fashion.
And I like your comment, Layla. She says, I would guess the FBI car expert would know what to look for, though. That is a good insight right there because you would hope. You would hope. And once again, I don't know why he changed the years. I don't know.
And it's
But
unfortunate that we didn't go to trial with it, because that probably would have been explained. Is to It's been explained that he did expand the years, but it was
uh,
never really explained as to exactly why, as
yeah,
far as I remember. But it would not surprise me. There's that one photo that was released in the documents from the side. The car is moving kind of fast, and the bumper reflector. I'll make this short because I know I've said this many times. I just keep saying the same stuff over and over again. But the bumper reflector that is out towards the outer edges of the bumper on a 2014 to 16, that's that's that's
okay.
an indicator of 14 to 16, right? Or like,
So
can you see the reflectors and the
so
bumper
we
reflectors in
saw
this?
we saw a vehicle turn at a high rate of speed going this way, right? Many people probably would have thought, "Hey, there's Brian right there. See how easily it's able to get you're able to get things wrong because here comes the car heading in a total different direction. See, the car's coming, I would say north. See, there's the vehicle right there. And that's not the vehicle that we saw make that left hand turn. You see that vehicle right there? And that
Well,
is going, they
I
didn't,
wonder if
they didn't
I wonder if you
Nevada.
should take off your logo in the upper right corner so that we can always see the time stamp, the true time
Yeah,
of the
let me do that. Let me do that.
camera.
And also, if you notice that the time is going a little slower, I slowed it down so we're able to see the vehicle. Okay? Not
Mhm.
because I'm trying to convince you one way or the other, okay? Because it's hard to capture these vehicles going at regular speed, you know what I mean? And I don't want to sit there and have to rewind and all that. So This one is Stadium in Nevada South, and supposedly this is the vehicle. And this is the angle that, see, if you were an expert and that's all you had to look at without trying to superimpose it, and like I said, I'm not an FBI expert, I'm not a car expert, none of that stuff. But if that's all you had, how are you really going to decipher the difference in your model? Especially that vehicle going that fast, right? So it makes a left-hand turn. That vehicle, let's say that that's the Elantra. I don't know that that's the Elantra. There's no sound telling us, here comes the Elantra. It's about to make a left-hand turn.
Well, you know,
You
one
get what
thing
I'm
that
saying?
says that that's not an Elantra is it. I'm just looking at the video I did where I took all 6 years of the Elantra 11 to 16
Yeah.
and I put them on the screen, all in one screen. They're rotating. The turn signal light is not low in the bumper like that one you were just showing. All the turn signal lights are actually right up next to the headlight, to the right or to the outside edges of the headlight.
Okay. So that, to
I
be fair, is not Brian's car. Then it could be another car. They didn't
Right,
take
yeah,
the.
that
They
turn
didn't
signal
take
gives
other
it away.
cars. They didn't take other vehicles off this road and just kept Brian's car on. Because there it is, right there. Do you get what I'm? Do you get what I'm meaning right there, Jeff? It's like many people
You,
think that that car that we just saw turn. There's no way that was an Elantra. Okay, but here comes the Elantra at a different
right, right,
angle, different speed. They're not going to remove vehicles that were on these cameras, hopefully, because then they
right.
could be looked at trying to plant evidence, whatever. So does that look like an Elantra to you?
Yeah, definitely. You know the thing. Here's the thing. There's the um. Wait, I can't use my pointer to. But if you point at like the body molding, you know that line that goes diagonally from like high at the tail light, yeah, there you go, going down to downward towards the front. That's distinctly Elantra. The little yellow light that's next to the headlight, that is the position of where they are.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like I
where
was
they
just
meet
saying,
up.
the turn signal yellow light is right there. It's almost like if you imagine the headlights are like eyes. It's right in the corner of the eyes where the point is.
Yeah, all this molding adds, it's all together. I was looking at this earlier from the still photos.
The shark
They're
fin
right.
antenna
Yeah,
is there. You can see the shark fin antenna. If he hits his brakes, his center brake light should be.
right there.
I think it's low. It's low at the bottom of the back window, if I remember right.
Okay. Well, let's see if,
Not high.
okay.
Yeah,
So
and that's true in all the models.
what clearly we can see here, um, there is no sunroof. Are we in
Right.
agreement with that? Because I see the reflection of the.
Right.
I'm not trying
Exactly.
to be a smartass. I'm not trying to be a smartass. This
No,
light
but
right
there are
here.
people that say they see a sunroof, and I think, what? Where are you seeing a sunroof?
Well, see this
Oh, but
light right
we
here.
didn't talk about the side window though. The side window, show the curve, the underside curve of the side window, where
Right
it
here.
comes to a point at the back. That curve, that smooth curve, not an angled cut. Also not a, the side window also isn't. Well, I'm looking at really closely here. Yeah, it's just a smooth. It comes up and it smoothly curves to a point. That is very distinctly Elantra. I've
Right.
only
And
seen it on Teslas, maybe a Porsche once similar.
that car that they captured at that gas station? The more I look at these photos, that is definitely that Elantra right there. I
Hmm.
mean, that blurry image is
Oh, the one
definitely,
that the gas station employee took a
yeah,
picture of with her
yeah,
phone, and yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That is, I would say that was definitely this vehicle. But what,
I can't say with that one 100%. I leave a
Okay,
little.
I'm gonna
I'll
go
be like
about
Cy Ray. I'm gonna be like Cy Ray, and I'll just leave a little room to change my mind
hey, I'm
about when
going
it's
about
not.
85%. I'm going about 85%. I'm with you on that.
I'll
Good
be
call.
85. I'll go 85 with you.
Yeah. Let's continue to look. And there's another vehicle behind him. So that clearly was not his vehicle. The one creeping through the intersection. And we have to take into account too, Brian was not a good driver. Even though I've slowed this down a little bit, it still looks like the other cars are still going at a higher rate of speed than he is creeping through that intersection. Did it not?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, from experience, without these on, my night driving is pretty bad. So I would be creeping just like that too.
So now, was
But
that
you would
car that
think
just
he,
went through there? Was that?
but you would think that he knew the route he was going. Let's see.
You would think so. You would think you'd have a very good idea of the route and everywhere you're driving, especially if you just take didn't Ann Taylor say he likes to drive around alone at night. He
And
probably
if
knows
I'm
the
looking
road
at
very.
this vehicle, I'm looking at the elongated
Mm-hmm.
lenses, and then you kind of see the top of the car. You can't really see the shark fin at this point because it's like a blur.
Yeah, this
But
one's got some motion blur that the other one didn't really have as
yeah,
much.
so you really can't. I can't tell that this is the same car. But once again, who do I know? I don't know what the FBI has or what they don't. Obviously, they have some stuff that we don't have prevalent too.
Also, did we yeah, and trying to understand what that number that's moving in the bottom left corner, the significance of how it's not the same. Now this one seems a little more closer, but off by 2 hours. Um, is it 2 hours? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Hour, minute, second. Yeah. Um, but I know there are times where like I'll edit a video and we'll do a rough like if I just send somebody a bunch of footage, each video clip has its own time code. Each frame is marked. But if I take like 15 clips, drop them into a new timeline, and then send them a movie of the timeline, the counter for the whole timeline is going to be different because it represents this new timeline.
And see, this is the time of him supposedly heading back home. Because look at the time, 5:27. I'm gonna stop it right there. He must have just washed his car because that emblem is glowing pretty good.
Yeah. And that emblem does very much so have a curve at the bottom of it right there. It's an oval with the H inside it.
And it looks like a smiley face down here. See the lights
Yeah.
aren't on this car. The fog lights aren't on. It just the regular lights. Remember how that other one had the fog lights
Yeah.
on?
I mean, that is something to definitely consider. Like the question would be, are the fog lights off, or is there a chance you've got two different Elantras?
Right.
Um, yeah, you got to be honest.
I thank you for the three people that we have in here, just like the good old days.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like the good old days. I guess
Yeah,
people don't.
I think I would love to hear from that FBI vehicle specialist to just hear, what the process was, because I do really think that he thought he saw there's not many indicators that tell you what year range this is. There's only really like two ranges, right? There's 11 to 13, 14 to 16. So I think it's because of and as far as I can tell, the only indicators that are really good are the little bumper reflectors, the little red bumper reflectors, and the fog light shapes. You know, they're 14 through 16. The fog light shapes look like boomerangs. They're like a V if you were to take it and bend it outward. And then 2011 to 2013, they're very much just almost like damn. Always terrible with shapes and like if you take a square and then what is that? It's not a trapezoid, a rhombus. It's basically like it's more of a closer to a square than a boomerang.
That's fair enough.
But I think
We can
is a
have.
police officer allowed to expand their thought, expand the year
I mean,
range once?
Why wouldn't you be able? See, there's a vehicle up there at the top. Did you see that? You missed it.
Do it again. Do it again.
I don't know where that vehicle came from because it came out of nowhere. This right up here by the words, you see the tail lights of a vehicle. There's one right there, but it's hard to really see it turning around. See where I pointed the mouse right up here? It's making a turnaround. And then it switches the camera again. So this is 52741. So this would be him going home, most definitely. Because isn't Nevada and Stadium by his house? Or is this still in Moscow?
Nevada Stadium is definitely it's on the WSU campus.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Um,
Making
let me
sure.
let me pull up. I at one point had taken all the time indicators and put them into Google Earth, and I think there was multiple times where he was seen at Nevada and Stadium, right?
Right here. Okay. So if you look at this vehicle again, I hate it because I'm trying to make everything disappear. See at the very bottom, and we have still shots of all these sightings, okay? And I'm going to show them. But right here, this vehicle is creeping along. If you're a police officer, and I'll ask any of them, what's something that you look for when you're getting ready to pull somebody over? Wouldn't you be looking for somebody at 5:27:58 in the morning creeping along? Would you think that something was up?
Right. Yeah, it makes a person possibly look suspicious. Just I'm sure this is a common time where somebody has left a bar, is probably still drinking, and is driving. I'm sure they're looking for that all the time.
Of course. I mean, the fact that he didn't get pulled over on his way back home. I mean, it could have been a guy leaving for work. People
Mm-hmm.
leave for work that early in the morning.
Right. Right.
But the fact of the matter is, that's not what their eyes are looking at. They're looking for the consistency of the same type vehicle. And that's what we heard from Chief Fry in the very beginning. Is he mentioned at one point, he said, because somebody asked him, well, how did you get to that conclusion? And I remember him saying, well, this vehicle was making multiple turns around, and we were able to see that this was the same vehicle, and we heightened our investigative process in this regard. So this is Stadium and Grimes. This is a different street.
Yeah, like here's I found my Google Earth uh, thing that I made. So at 5:27 he's at that intersection. It looks like at 2:44 he's at that intersection, and 250 253. I've got like three markers at that intersection that are pulled. I believe these are pulled from the PCA.
I mean, I'm impressed with the quality of the camera, to be honest. It's not grainy. It's not, you're able to see once a car hits under a light, you're able to kind of distinguish what kind of vehicle you're looking at, whether it's a pickup, whether it's a car, whether it's an SUV. I don't doubt that there was very much confusion regarding this
Hmm.
vehicle.
Right. Yeah,
There's,
there is enough to there's enough markers I think to determine whether it's an Elantra or not. I mean, you can look at the other cars that we see, and you'll be able to instantly say, okay, this is not an Elantra. But when you look at this one, those three indicators, I see three indicators. Actually, now four when we were talking about the headlights and how they're, they're very narrow, very thin. I don't mean anybody any disrespect by saying like if you're thinking of like eyes, they might be more like the Asian persuasion of eyes with the sharp point at the outer edges where you see the turn signal. That's pretty unique that the headlights definitely not like a round headlight like an
right.
old Ford truck or anything. It's a elongated and very thin.
And scientific data is put into place in all this, where they're able to type in the coordinates and the speed and understand exactly how fast this car was probably going in the coordinates, and we're able to map out something. So it's seen at this corner at this time, then it's seen at this corner. How long would it take to get from each location? Would tell you how fast this person was going. It's not like they just used the camera like what we're doing and going, okay, well, it's
Right.
5:29 right now, so the next camera we see should be about 5:35. So um, this next car that we see on this next camera, that has to be his. No, there's more scientific data that goes along with that. It's not just visual representation.
Right,
Does
because
that,
there's certain things like if we were looking at trains and a train were to get into the station 5 hours earlier than it possibly could, you know, then we'd know it's like, wait, that can't be the same train. It's impossible. You know, but yeah,
see,
this would show the likelihood.
there's the car again at 5:20:13. And if you just committed a quadruple murder, would you not have your car on cruise control, making sure that you didn't speed? You didn't go beneath the speed limit, that you would have your car going the same speed that the speed limit allotted for.
Right. Yeah, you don't want to give any reason to be pulled over for. I like in my neighborhood, I know the officer told me I think I got pulled over for almost going I think I was going 38 in a 25. Um and he told me it's like, if you were to go 30, maybe even 35, that's acceptable. But once you're over 35,
So here's case in point to what I was just saying about the scientific data. Looking at this right here, we can't see the shark fin. You can't really see the distinctive ridge right there along the side, but you can see the mirror. But there has to be some
you mean
other,
the side window?
yeah, the side, yeah,
Yeah.
did I say mirror? The side
Yeah.
window. But there has to be some other distinguishing features that make this car the same car that they've been tracking. There has to
Well,
be some,
the other indicators you could look at is that see how the tail lights they're split, like there's a longer side edge light, and
yeah,
then
right
there's a
here.
split. I mean, I'm looking at the all the different models, and I see that. Um, I see that. I think the smaller red light is actually the portion that's on the inside of the trunk. So like when you lift the trunk up, the little smaller red lights would go up
Yeah,
with the trunk. That's what it
Well, one
looks
of
like.
these is the
And then
turn
the
signal. One of these is the turn signal. I think it's the littler one that you're talking about.
yeah, I don't know that the well, I don't know if it have a separate like a yellow. It might just be that the red light
No,
itself
it does.
blinks.
It
Does it?
does. Yeah.
Oh, but
'Cause you're-
also you could see like the license plate lights. It looks like there are two coming from the side, I think.
See, I'm not an expert, but this looks like that street where there's a gas station down here, and you see this vehicle approaching, heading toward the camera, where you can see it going underneath the light, and you can definitely see it better. This is one of the images that another creator. Oh, the car just disappeared. Did you notice that? There's the conspiracy right there. Watch the car. It
Uh-oh.
disappeared. Right here. Watch. One, two, boom, it disappeared.
Oh boy.
Was that a bridge that he went under?
Wait, do it again. Yeah, what's going on? Because I was, as you were doing that, I was watching the time clock to see if it changed at all. There is a bridge there.
Isn't that an overpass or something?
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
obscured by the bridge.
that's that overpass right there as you're getting into the campus, right? That's where this area is. Yeah, there's the overpass, right? Jesus, I was like, what the hell? Where did the car go? There it is right there. Boom. It goes under the bridge. All right, thank God. Thank God.
I'm trying to see on the Google Maps. So that's Stadium and Grimes.
Yeah, that's as you're going into the campus. You know that bridge that they have right there that says WSU or Home of the Cougars or something like that on that bridge. There's something distinctive on this road that makes it
Oh,
known that
okay.
you're hitting the
Okay.
campus.
Yeah, I see the bridge. The bridge looks like it's a like a bike path or walking path.
Yeah. And you know what's sad? Is I know this damn landscape better than I know my own neighborhood. And here he comes, and this is the camera view that we've always, we were looking at earlier. So can you kind of tell which direction he's going towards Steptoe by looking at your map?
Let's
Is
see.
he
So
going left or right?
that's northbound.
So is he going left or right? Hurry, Jeff. You
Wait,
got
hold
two
on.
seconds to know. Come on,
Wait,
you
wait,
got 2 seconds, man.
wait. Grimes.
I'm going. I'm gonna say he's going left. He's going left or
Wait,
right.
hold
Come
on.
on,
But
come on.
if he's going northbound, no, he's. Wait, I think you can only make a right
He's going left.
onto Grimes.
He's
Is he?
going left. Let's see. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, he went
Ah, it
straight.
went straight on through.
He went straight.
Yeah, no, I can tell you. I got the cheat sheet here because 527. He's going to be at now. Next, he's going to be at Wilson and Stadium,
Okay.
and then at shoot, did I not put the correct times? But then eventually, he's up at Cougar Way, which is by the football stadium, or I guess it's a
Right.
football stadium, right?
Right. Yeah. WSU.
Yeah,
So
and
what the
then
next? What the next time after Stadium and Grimes? Where is he at next? You said Wilson in Stadium.
wait, let me see.
And I want to tell anybody that's watching, I did slow it down a little bit because I wanted to be able to catch the car. I didn't slow it down a lot, but I slowed it down quite a bit because I was missing vehicles as they were zooming by. Here we go, Stadium and Wilson. You're good, Jeff. 528.17. Stadium and Wilson. So are you following him based on?
Yeah, yeah. So he's yeah. Now when he's on Wilson, when he passes over Wilson, then he no. You know what the football stadium is to his left when he's going up Stadium Way, passing over Wilson.
Okay, so is he heading He's heading. He's going to be
He's heading
going
north.
away. Okay, so he's going to be going away from the camera, not towards us, right?
Wait, is that says Wilson Road westbound? That means the camera is pointing west. So if that's pointing west, then I would imagine. Wait, I need to get my bearings. Where we're which street we're looking at.
I mean, you have the luxury of having the map in front of you. I don't have that.
I mean, I can
Okay,
show you this real quick, but it's
here
too
we
bad we
go.
can't put them
Wilson
both on the
Road.
screen.
Okay, Wilson Road, eastbound.
Here, how much of it is it a pain to share this with you just for a moment?
Okay, hold
Just
on.
so, just so you can get at least a look at it.
I can just pause this. Hold on a second. Okay.
So here's Stadium Way and Grimes, and so he was going up here. Here's the overpass,
Okay,
and
I
then he
see the
goes.
over.
Then he goes over Wilson.
So if
Here's
he's heading
Stadium.
eastbound, where's the eastbound camera? Right there on Wilson?
So he's heading northbound on Stadium Way, isn't he? Yeah, it
Yeah,
would have to be. Yeah, because he disappears. When you lost sight of him, it was because of this overpass. He's heading this way.
right.
He goes up Stadium Way. Here's Cougar Way up here. I don't. It says spotted, so I assume there's a camera that we'll see of Cougar Way and Stadium Way. This is from the PCA. I don't know
That's
why I
a
have them all saying 527. I don't know if I just didn't got lazy with labeling.
that's a
Goes up
long ass.
Stadium Way. Let's see if I can.
So think of how many cameras caught him. Not only the cameras at the intersections, but
Isn't
where's Steptoe?
Steptoe? Oh, it's over here. I think he must come up. See Steptoe up in the upper right here? Here's
Yeah,
Steptoe. So he must have come up Stadium Way. Does he make a right onto Valley?
that's pretty cool. You have all this marked off. This must have been the due diligence that you did at the very beginning, huh?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I I wasted so much time. It's like I don't even have all the time put into this. I don't have a degree. I don't have any, paper, a document. I don't even have any songs that I learned because, like, if you've spent hours and hours in a guitar, at least you can show the songs you. This
Right,
this is all I have to show. This, I'm hardly proud of that.
right, right.
What's interesting though, so his apartment I think is over here by this letter P. And what I think is interesting, you know that the car accident or the person was hit, I
Yeah,
think happens like somewhere up here, right? Well, everybody says, "Oh, well, they must have seen Brian because he would have driven through here." But what's not to say Brian didn't leave his apartment? It seemed to make more sense he'd go down here, Garden Avenue, go down here, and come this way. Totally bypass that accident with the where the I think it was a drunk girl or something that it hit some
right,
people.
right.
I
Yeah,
don't know
where
why my
she where
marker's
she
not there. I think my marker's on another project that lists it over
where
here.
she sideswiped those walking people.
Yeah, because the people that got hit, I think the way that I was able to find it was that there was like right up here on Terrace. Let me see if I can I zoom in there. There was like a the people that were injured and the police were helping them. I could see this box. It's like an electrical box.
Yeah, because she was standing right next to her, right? She was wearing two different pair of shoes.
Wait, I'm sorry, I'm going the wrong way. I think.
Pullman looks like Moscow a little bit.
This is so bad because I had all this marked. Now I'm second guessing. I know you could see off in the distance in the background was like apartment buildings that were at a lower elevation.
And those were Steptoe?
Wait, I think it might be. No, no, it was just, where this accident happened. I could have sworn it's like right around here.
I
This
mean,
is it.
because the way
I
people
think
were
it was
making
right
it,
here. I think
because the
you
way
could
people
tell
were
from the
making
body
it,
cam
yeah.
that you could see these green boxes and you could see these places in the distance at a lower elevation. I think this is where, so if I back out of where this is, hopefully this doesn't flip the whole map around and stuff. Okay, so it was right here on this curve. And if you look to see where Steptoe is in relation to the curve. Okay, wait, I'm gonna make north and hold on. Hopefully it doesn't go too crazy. Okay, still on the curve. How come I've lost Steptoe? Oh, okay, Steptoe's down here. Brian's apartment is over here.
I mean, they made it sound like it was right across the street.
Yeah, and look, you ever hear people say that Brent Kopacka like lived right across, like stone's throw from
Yeah.
Brian? Um, if I remember right, come on, it's going so slow.
Yeah, he lived quite a bit.
It's like a mile and a half. Wait, let me turn this off. It might make it easier to see. I'm pretty sure I had Kopacka's place
Stay
marked way
focused.
down here.
You were going to show us where Brian's apartment was in comparison to that accident. Stay focused.
Oh yeah. Well, so yeah, I think the accident or the person injured was on this curve, middle of this curve. Brian's apartment is like over here. And so, wait, which one is it? Is that
And
correct?
supposedly,
I don't.
supposedly the police were still there when he got home that morning. They wouldn't have seen him the direction in which he came. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah. I think. Yeah, because he would have been coming up down here. If you can see my mouse down to the Northeast Valley Road. Um, let's see. I mean, there's a possibility. I don't remember what time that accident happened though. If he would have more likely been seen as he was leaving his apartment, or if as he was, it was been what was at night. It would have been as he was leaving. All I'm suggesting is that, especially if I don't know why I'm doubting myself though as to whether this is truly his apartment and it wasn't over here. Wait, do you know his? We should have his address. Okay, 1630. Oh, this should be this building actually, shouldn't it? I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to say something that I'm not 100% sure about.
All right. Well, let's get back to the
Yeah.
let's get back to the video. That kind of gives us a nice little impression of where this
Little
map.
reference. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's hard in at nighttime because you don't really see anything but dark, you know? So this is that straightaway, that long ass road, right? Stadium. It's a long road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think this is almost the last two. Here comes, let me speed it up a little bit. So here comes the vehicle, I think. What I think's awesome is they have those markers right there. It says DET 19, DET 11, DET 2. Those are obviously markers for a reason. There it is. It's like we're sitting here waiting for him to come by, and then he kind of creeps and like, oh, there he
Mm-hmm.
went.
Now, are those markers? Are they to mark that whoever Detective 19 is viewed that, maybe made a marking on it? Now
possibly.
look at what's interesting. It matches what we were looking at before. The split tail lights with the bigger red lights on the outside, the smaller red lights on the inside. It's got the license plates light that seem to light from the left and right sides of the license plate. It's got the curve of the side
Yeah.
window. It's got
That's a
the look at
lot.
the off the light. There's the line, definitely the Elantra line.
There's the shark fin.
So this is
Stadium in Wilson.
an hour after he sped out of the King Road area. I mean, my best hunch is that everything that was bloody is in his trunk. Because he's got to be thinking, if I get pulled over for whatever, anything, for just being out at night, for going a little too fast, for not coming to a complete stop, or he's not gonna
Here
he's not
comes.
gonna want to have anything in the passenger compartment that makes it look like he just did what we believe he did.
See right there, it doesn't have the fog lights on. The fog lights are off. Maybe this is like a freaking vehicle identification. Like if
Yeah,
it
it might be like Detective 17 might have put this marker on there to say this in this clip, this zone right here is the best frames for trying to identify the car. Although I think
see
coming out
right
of
there,
that is
you visually don't see the license plate, and I'll show
right.
you here in a minute the pictures of the license plate so that you can see a lot clearer what you would have seen if that license plate would have been on there. Well, there you go through Wilson and
Oh, you mean
Stadium.
with another vehicle that has a front license plate?
Well,
You'll
his
see.
vehicle after it has the license plate on it,
Oh, I got you. I got you.
because we have those photos where it has one without it, and then it has the license plate on it. The license plate that he put, the Washington plate that he put on the front, is
Mm-hmm.
high on that grill area.
Mm.
There's nothing there, right there.
Also, too, if there is any other vehicles that do have a front license plate in this setting, like maybe they're behind him or something, and if they do have a front license plate, that would be an indicator of what a front license plate looks like on a car in
Right.
this setting at this time of night.
Stadium and Cougar. So this is, what direction is he going to turn? Is he going straight or is he going to turn?
Wait,
Ah,
don't
damn
start
it.
yet. Uh,
Damn it. I'll let you make it.
yeah, so that makes sense. He's turning right onto Cougar, right?
Yeah. Okay. There you have the shark fin. There you have the Elantra window.
Yeah,
The
that
line.
is. I mean, that right there. If you can you move it just a little so you can see the side molding line, because that's the only. Okay, no, I see a little bit of the shadow of it.
Right here.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. It sticks out and juts out so sharply that any light from above is causes casts a shadow below.
There it is.
Yeah,
There
that's
it is.
look at the line. And doesn't it look like, under that line? Here's what I imagine the shape of. Like if you were to make this car out of clay, like you take your thumb, put it behind the front wheel, and you go along the back, and then as you come to the back wheel, after the back wheel, you curve downward. And it's
Right.
got that shape pressed in.
But at the same time, As you're viewing this camera as a investigator or just somebody skimming through these cameras, you see this vehicle, the same type vehicle that you saw
Mm-hmm.
up the road and up the road from there and up the road from there. And here it is, 529. And if you see, if there's a camera right before he turns into his apartment, it's a start and finish deal. How could you not, in your mind, tell yourself this is the same vehicle? Nobody's saying Brian driving it at this point. Remember, they were saying we want to question a person or persons in this white Elantra to see
Right.
exactly whether they saw anything, whether they heard anything. Why didn't Brian go forward? What kept him from going and saying, just like Jeremy, hey, I drive an Elantra. I was out driving around that night. That was my car.
Yeah.
You want to look
Kind of
into
like Richard Allen, reporting to them that he was out there on the bridge that day.
see, did you see the blinker? Look, I want you to see the blinker. He turned on the blinker after he turned. See, I would have pulled him over for that. See? And then he didn't
Actually,
do
I
it all
think
the
I
way.
think it, I think it was on, but we couldn't see it from the angle, and then it
Oh,
just
okay.
went out.
No, I would
But
have
like,
pulled him.
do it one more time. Yeah, I think you're
I
right.
would
It
have
is.
pulled
It
him
is.
over. I would have pulled him over. See, it doesn't start lighting up until he's actually through the intersection. Did you not learn anything? Damn it!
Damn it, Jeff. No, but see, I think there's one. I see there's one. Yeah, it's on. I see two flashes.
That wouldn't have been enough for me as a
Oh,
cop.
look! It looked like he tossed a knife out into the grass there.
Yes, right there is when he tossed the knife. Damn it, Jeff. Okay, so that's Cougar. So he's already turned. Hold on.
Oh,
Let me let this play. That way people don't. After Brian's gone through there, I want you to see that there's no other car that goes after him. That's why I'm letting this play.
right.
Look how slow he's going. That would be suspicious just watching these cameras.
Then it looks like Cougar.
Let me
Does
un-
Cougar
let me
turn
normal.
into Orchard?
Hold on. Let me normal speed this. Let me see how fast he turns. I was like, damn, that's slow. Let's see how fast he's going. Stadium and Cougar. That's where we're at.
I think Cougar. It's Cougar on one side of Stadium Way, and it's Northeast Orchard on the other side of Stadium Way.
Damn it. See, look how fast he was going on that one. Did you see how fast he was going? Okay, he's going pretty quick. See, I'm going to slow it down to be able to see the car better. Cougar. It's almost like you can see the animal when you say that word. It just sounds, it just
Yeah.
sounds like a vicious animal. That's a cougar right there. John Cougar Mellencamp. Look at him going, man. He's not going slow right there. Wow, that's why I slowed it down.
What is that time there when he's going fast that you were just showing?
Okay, is this 5:29:37?
29. Stadium Way and
And then he
Cougar.
slowed down. Perfect shot. No license plate.
I wonder if is this
No,
possibly a second camera of the same view we've already seen, the Stadium and Cougar, because I don't see how's he coming. 'Cause I don't see how is 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 he coming.
Yeah, this is a different
How's he
camera.
crossing Stadium and Cougar twice in
Yeah,
around the
this
same
is
time?
different camera, different way. But look at that shot. That's a money shot right there. No license plate.
Yeah, yeah. That like I would call it like a mouth. The mouth has got that smile.
Yeah,
It doesn't have the bug. What do you call it?
no
Thing
bug
on the
guard.
front. No hood
No bug
guard.
guard.
Um,
You're cooked.
it's kind of hard to tell if the fog lights are are glass there instead of the some of the models have just black plastic put in where the fog light would be.
See, this is slowing it down, and it's still going pretty fast. Wave
If
to us, you
if
fuck. He's smoking a
oh
cigarette.
yeah,
You see it?
yeah, play that a little slow as it goes around the corner. See what we can determine from inside. Looking at the front window, you can see through the front window, through the passenger side window to see the
Yeah,
sidewalk. So that's not tinted windows, at least
right.
it's
Good,
windshield.
good catch. Good catch. Let me rewind that a little bit. Here we go. This is still slowed down, and it's still going pretty fast. Back and to the left.
I was
Back
just
and
I
to
was
the
just
left.
wondering.
Right. Damn it.
I think that's a
See, you can see the sidewalk.
yeah. I was gonna say I don't know if that's a cigarette he's like or something in the
I was
car. I think
joking.
it's more
I was
like a
joking.
light reflection.
I
I
was
know.
joking.
He's like
See,
Cheech
this
and
is
Chong
definitely
right
a
now, man.
light. This is definitely a light reflection from either one of these lights. The green light would reflect more probably toward this side of the vehicle, right?
No, I don't. You got to think like when you're playing pool, like billiards, like the angle of the camera hitting
So
the
the light
car.
would
Maybe
bounce.
maybe I don't know.
See,
I
there's
don't
a
see
light.
any green light on there.
There's a light right here, a light reflection right here.
But now, if you can look at this still picture, or even the earlier one that you had, I think was even better. If you can say that you don't see an Elantra, I don't know what to tell you. That's definitely Elantra,
Back.
and it's a white Elantra. What color is that grass next to the sidewalk?
What
Is
color
it
is
green?
that? Is those
That's green
markers?
grass.
See, the markers are green, and it's a lime green that people say just
But I
Elantra's
mean,
green.
it's obviously a picture in color. The traffic lights are in color. The tail lights, the grass.
No,
This is a white. This isn't infrared footage right here.
no license plate.
Yep,
So
no license plate.
if we were gonna go along the lines of superimposing an Elantra right here, okay, just for the sake of stupidity, how hard would it be to line this up where not only you have a moving vehicle, but how hard would it be to line up every frame if you're going to input this vehicle to make it perfectly line up with the road lines? Would that be difficult, even if you
I
did it?
mean, I've been wishing that I could find somebody that had a 2015 white Elantra that I could befriend for the purpose of photographing their car. Because I mean, you could line it up. You've got to get the height of the camera, the lens type, a focal length of the camera. And then it would be an exact match if you can match those things up.
But if you were going to superimpose or photocopy, as many people say, how would you get the shadow perfect?
Well, you'd
Wouldn't
have
it,
to
if
replicate
you,
the lights.
but could you do it? That's what I'm asking you. could you do a Photoshop and get a shadow that projects off this lighting to be almost perfect? That's what we're seeing right there.
Well, like too, I mean, if you've got, if you've got a 3D program and you've got the 3D model of the Elantra, you could position it and with all you know, the angle of the road and the vanishing point and all that of the, it make it all line up. But I mean, like, look at, I was looking for a lighter colored Matchbox car, but I mean, this car. So wait, let's see if I can get it to so it's the same angle, similar angle to what we're seeing on camera. I mean, you've got to get, if the camera is not high enough and it's just shot on the ground, you get that kind of a look. If the camera is nice and high, then you get, that look where you can see the roof.
Hold
That's
on.
obviously a very
Showing
high
me
camera.
something?
So
Are you showing me something? I'm intrigued here on the screen. Let's see what we got here. We're almost at the end of this video. This is informative. And I'm not using any bias whatsoever. I'm not saying that's Brian in that car. I'm not saying that it's somebody else in that car. I'm saying this vehicle was caught on camera from 243 all the way to 529
hmm
ish.
but I mean, if you're a police officer and you're thinking like it's a white Elantra, very similar to like the white Elantra we saw in the neighborhood where the murder happened, and it sure
Without a
seems
front
to be
license.
like it's without a front license plate and it's heading in the direction of Brian's apartment.
Right.
Um, that pretty looks pretty bad for Brian. I'm sorry.
Especially if
I
he was the
mean,
only person in that apartment complex with the white Elantra without a front license plate. Let's say there was three in that parking lot. Two of them have a
mhm.
front Washington license plate. At this point, he still doesn't have one because he didn't get one until like 3 days after the murder, 3 or 4 days after the murder. And then when they
Which I
find
know
it,
we've talked about if that's like part of the cover up plan,
right.
part of the
I
to
mean, there was
obscure
a
his
cover up
vehicle.
on his side. There was a cover up, obviously, on his side. So you
Yeah,
see this vehicle without the front license plate on these videos, and then you see his vehicle, and all of a sudden they have the white Washington plates.
I bet you he wanted to probably paint the whole damn car, but all he could afford maybe was the bug the bug thing to make it look in the
Why would
license
you put
plates.
a? That's not obvious, is it? Putting a bug guard on a Elantra. Have you ever seen any other Elantra with a bug
I
guard?
know no one with a bug guard like that or
I've never seen a vehicle with a bug guard.
right.
The only thing I've ever seen with a bug guard is a pickup, but that's not obvious, is it?
I mean, was it did he notice a lot of bugs from driving all the way across the country and thought, well, when I drive back to Washington, I'm going to collect all those bugs on there. It was bug prevention. It was a little, you know, bug
All he
bug
would
prevention
need.
awareness.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's good. That's one of the other things I really like about Plunder. There's not a lot of I mean there's a good amount of people that share Bible verses and share their faith like that, but it's I think it's great to see.
Let me put the second one up. Are you still good with time?
Yeah, I think so. Probably go a little bit longer.
Do you want to play the second one or do you want to go into the photos? Because we can do the photos.
Let's maybe take a look at the second one. What is it?
Okay.
It's going to be different cameras.
Yeah,
S-
this
Uh,
one it was this. These are like Nevada,
same location.
but they're different views of the car.
Yeah.
So they might be the same cameras, different views. Let me see.
Wait, did you say Nevada?
Yeah, this
It
says
took it
Nevada
took me
North.
a long it took me a long time to realize we were working on a video project for Nevada.
See,
And
this is
I would do
23,
23.
2359, 1159, right? Because 24 is 12. As you can see at the bottom, they're scrolling through the camera fast. You see that?
I'm just trying to find Nevada on my map.
Do you see how fast it's going at the bottom? Okay. This is clearly not a white Elantra.
Right, there's no split in the tail lights.
If there's anybody in the chat, please put what you believe that that vehicle is based on your visual experience of just watching it creep by. I don't even know if there's anybody here. That's not a Elantra right there. What'd you call it? Nevada?
Nev- I get confused now that when I start thinking about it. Nevada. Yeah, because Nevada is what I want to say naturally, but yeah, when we started doing, I do these voiceovers for these political ads, and our candidate, and I'd say something like, this election we need a new leader in Nevada, and they'd watch the rough cut and they'd say, you pronounce it wrong.
Is this a white Elantra? And this is exactly at midnight and 14 seconds.
No, that looks more like that's an SUV, isn't it?
I would think so.
It's got the rear brake light on the top.
Nevada. That's interesting.
No,
And that
Nevada.
person,
Nevada.
Nevada. It's kind of like
Yeah, think
Spokane.
of it like think about like what's a matter? What's a matter you?
Hey,
That
kind
doesn't
of
help
like
because something's
Spokane,
matter.
Spokane, Spokane.
And I'm gonna search it. How do you pronounce?
I wonder if there's anybody watching. Here comes a vehicle right here. This person is heading to the left. Okay. If we're looking at this vehicle, I could see how you got confused. That it may have had a license plate because there is a little gleam right there. This is the vehicle that you were talking about earlier. You see it?
Yeah,
Look
but
at
see,
the.
that's not the Elantra because you can see that the turn signal's in the wrong place. That
Yeah,
almost looks more like a truck.
SUV. It's a van.
SUV.
All right. Good
Soccer.
eye,
It's a
Jeffrey. Good
soccer
eye.
mom.
Good eye, my man. Good
Good
eye.
eye. Good eye, mate.
Good eye, my man. Well, I'm glad you're watching. I'm glad you're always here watching. I'm just never sure anymore. Is this the Elantra? This person got confused. See, they were going left and then they were
Nevada.
going
Nevada.
right. Is this the
This one's
Elantra? This
also
one has a.
this also got a license plate.
Yes, it
Yeah, and the
does.
turn signal is on the wrong place too. Wait, I'll be right back.
See the turn signals on the little mirror too. So that is an SUV. I don't know why YouTube is putting y'all's whole name up there, and there went the Elantra, I think. Yes, it was right there. Missed it. Let me slow this down. Because here comes the car right here. This is the car that's going to turn. And then we're going to see Brian's car after this. See, I was watching this earlier, and I probably even got the wrong car in some of my shorts. I apologize for that because I thought this was the Elantra. My bad. My bad. But
You got a
nobody
car
called
in
me
your
on it.
shorts.
Yeah, nobody called me on it. This is the one that I put in my shorts because I thought this was the Elantra, and not one person called me on it. Now I see that it's an SUV. See, I was wrong because Brian comes up here. I just saw the little box and I thought, okay, that's Brian's car. Let me slow this down. Not one damn person called me on it. See how close people look?
Wait, no, I did. I did. Didn't I? I
Oh,
put a
you
comment
didn't.
on that.
Well, you did. You said that car has a license plate. And see, this is not his car either because it has the turn signal on the mirror. His car wasn't that fancy.
Yeah, I would like to
But you,
know truly what that green box is truly all about.
but you get what I'm
That's not
saying,
him on the
right?
bottom, is it?
I did something that I thought this was his vehicle, right? Not this one, but the one before, and nobody called me on it. That means not one person of those 300 and something people that viewed it, not one person actually looked for the distinguishing features to say I was wrong. They
Hmm.
took it at face value. You
Hmm.
failed,
I see
YouTube.
what you mean.
You failed. And I wasn't even trying to trick y'all. You failed, YouTube. You failed.
Got to turn in your sleuth cards.
Right?
Taking
Instead of
them. I'm
saying
taking them
all
for you.
these other vehicles are not the white Elantra, they went along with what I said was the white Elantra. And you know why people are saying this one has a sunroof? Is that the sunroof or is
Yeah,
that
that's definitely a sunroof there on that one.
so I don't think that's his vehicle right there.
No, that's an SUV as well.
Yeah. It kind of looks like it though. But you're right. That is an SUV. The it's wider in the back. They got that big back.
And here's the thing too. It's like we I think we're doing pretty good, like identifying features of the car. But can you imagine working with the FBI and you can pick up the phone and call Hyundai and you have so many more resources and experience and knowledge and things to lean on.
So we're already at
G Sager is watching. Look, G
206.
Sager's got a an avatar that's a cat, and Vegas has a dog. 80s kid, of course, is a
So
cool
military
green
time. This
guitar.
is this is 2 in the morning. It's sped up to 2 because it was all the way 0
No, zero should be.
midnight,
This is
right?
midnight. Yeah, midnight.
Okay, this is midnight. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
So
that
for
that
those of you that think it's 2 in the morning, this is military time because it started at 23:59 and now we're at 0002 2 minutes and 26 seconds. So maybe this is just a comparison to see if they saw his vehicle. There's a vehicle right there. There's somebody walking across the street. See him?
maybe that's
There's
Brian. Maybe he got out of his car and he's like, I'm gonna try this crosswalk. I keep
one.
hearing about these crosswalk things.
There's
Maybe they have them in
one.
Pennsylvania.
There's only one person walking, and he's pretty damn tall.
What if that's a ghost of a dead person?
That looks like a
Almost look
freaking.
like a nun.
It did. That is not the Elantra right there with the sunroof. You are right. If you said that was not the car, you are right. That was not the
What do
car.
you win? What prize do you win?
What prize do they win? Let's see. Let's speed it up a little bit. We're about to see a night walker. This dude looks like a praying mantis. He like comes out of nowhere too. So can you imagine driving and then all of a sudden coming across this dude because he's like wearing what looks like a white looking mask, right? Did you see what I saw or am I seeing
Yeah, wouldn't it be messed up if it's not there?
Wow, that would be a
And then
trip, wouldn't it?
if you rewind your live stream and you look, it's like it's not there either.
Okay, I think he's about to walk across
Yeah,
because I
it's
saw him about halfway through.
yeah, maybe it's on the next light change because it would have been the light going the other direction. And what
Right,
kind of car was that?
not on the
That
Elantra.
has very small tail lights.
Yeah, I wish they would have videotaped their conversations as they were watching this. No, no, that's bullshit. That's an
There it
Elantra.
is.
There it is. Is it one or two people? There's two people. There's one right here.
Looks like it could
There's
be
one.
even. It's Jack
One
Showalter and Kaylee and Maddie.
hoodie guy,
That's
bro.
Hoodie.
He's pushing a cart.
Yeah, this.
It looks like a baby stroller, maybe.
Oh, yeah,
No,
hey, good.
that's
Yeah, good eye.
two
Yep.
people. No, no, they're walking. It's just two people. Hoodie guy, though. Did y'all see that chat? You saw?
Maybe they're like those people on the beach, that go with the metal detectors, and maybe they're out there in the grass right now. They're like, "Hey, a knife."
Okay, before you see this car anymore, is it or is it not?
I see a license plate already,
Okay.
and I see an improper location of a turn signal light, and I don't know
Yeah,
vehicles well enough to call that. That's
but there, that looks like a Mustang right there. They
well, it's
have
a
that.
pickup truck with a cab.
No, the one going the other
Oh,
direction was
one
the
that went the other.
Mustang. Because they
You
have
sure that
those
was a
straight.
Mustang?
They have those
Oh,
straight
did it
up
have?
and down.
Oh, it had the triple like.
Yeah,
I was looking at the truck
it was
too
the
much.
red
Oh, that's
Mustang, bro. Watch. See how the lights go all the way up and down? But you're right about this being a truck with.
I think that's Matthew Conaughey and his Lincoln
Hey, this
Lincoln
is.
Town
You're
Car.
right. This truck has a camper on it. Hey, it's the white truck, bro. Isn't this crazy? So at midnight and 3 minutes, all these vehicles are going through this intersection. And look how fast that camera is recording every image. This doesn't look like a motion detector camera. It looks like a camera that just continuously recording. But I'm not a photographer or anything like that, but that would be my best guess.
Well, if you just watch the seconds, their seconds are ticking off at a normal rate. It's just the
No, I'm
where
talking
those
about
frames.
the at the lower left, you see that
Yeah,
it looks like gas pumping. See how
yeah.
fast it's going? Is that like frame
How
by
often
frame?
when you get gas, do you try and make it stop on an even number every time? I mean, I don't think there's ever a time where I don't try and hit a determined number.
Okay, that's not an Elantra right there. That looks like one of those box cars. You know what I'm talking about? A Scion looking
Yeah.
car? Yeah, and I do. I try to either do that or make it stop at one or two pennies after. Because
Hmm.
that's usually how it stops. 1 penny or 2 penny after. Here's another green light. Here comes another vehicle. Not an Elantra. Too bad he didn't clip a damn car on King Road. That would have left his paint all over their vehicle. That would have been the smoking gun right there. Here's another vehicle, Jeffrey. Yay or nay?
Mm, it's got very interesting fog light position. Very
Yeah.
vertical shapes.
Yeah.
I think that nah. I was gonna say it might be like a Mini Cooper, but I think it's not.
It has a license plate also. See it?
It looks like a very dark colored car.
These intersections need better lighting. I heard somebody say that they darkened this on purpose. Really? It's nighttime. That looks like some
Yeah, I
kind of.
think it's a. I think you're right. I think it's a very dark corner. You know, the thing you can tell is like the one thing that I can tell is like when the headlights from those cars were hitting the other parked cars. I mean, they're not like super underexposed or anything. That looks like
You
proper
know,
exposure. So
that looked like a
some
mini.
cameras are just better in low light than others. So
Maybe this is our guy. I thought he was at home at this time. I think this is just comparison, like giving you, what they were looking at. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Because that's not an Elantra right there. Now, just think if we were trying to convince people that there's no way that any of this footage had Brian's car in it, we would be showing this stuff right here, right? And not telling them that it was at midnight that we're showing this stuff at. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was trying to convince my audience to be like, see, there's nothing on here showing Brian's Elantra. No Elantra that I've seen so far. And I don't tell
well, this
them
might
about
this
it.
might be also making a record that they checked from this time to this time and found no
Right.
Elantra.
Because didn't
Yeah.
they go 6 months back on certain things?
Yeah, when you see all the stuff that is, I mean, it certainly seems like they were definitely working very hard on this case. There was a
I
lot
believe Brian was at
being
home at
done.
this. Brian was at home at this time, if I remember correctly. He was at home watching porn. I mean, I don't know what else he could have been doing. Sharpening the
Let
K-bar?
me
I
ask
don't.
you, actually, that makes me think of something. Now, the DNA found on the knife sheath that was Brian's, if that had been semen, would they have said that?
Yeah,
It would have been stated, right?
yeah.
It would
I
have been
believe it would have
obviously
been like
different DNA.
seminal fluid.
Okay. All right. So the fact they didn't say
They
that maybe
got the
means
DNA, Jeff. That DNA was either recovered off of blood, sweat, or something. It was
yeah.
just not. I mean, we have our DNA in our cells, okay? So it's not like it was DNA from you touching the counter, and then we come and we swab it. There had to be dead skin cells, sweat, or something that our
Right.
DNA is attaching it to. So when people say, "Well, it was touch DNA," that's that's not what it means.
Yeah.
So they probably got the DNA off some blood, whether it was Brian's or not. Could have been
So
sweat.
you don't think he took the little strap and the button snap and attached it to his you know, and was
No.
running around his apartment like that?
Who the hell knows what he was doing at this
You
time?
know, and saying it puts the lotion on, it puts the
Put the lotion in the basket.
put the lotion in the basket.
He was probably in the mirror taking those selfies, tucking it in between his legs, walking around.
Have we looked at all those selfies really closely to see and make sure that we don't see a K bar sitting around somewhere? I wonder where he
We
kept
have
it.
not. We have not. Let's look at the still photos, okay? Because this looks like
Yeah.
it's gonna be a while. We'll get back to this on another live, but let's
Now
look.
you were saying you didn't think you thought he was at home, hadn't left his apartment yet. What do we have that indicates potential time that he left his home.
I
I
remember seeing some documents that gave us the timeline of the phone pings. I recall
okay.
that they pinged
Oh, when
his
his
phone.
phone was on still.
Yeah, when his phone was pinging from his apartment,
Oh, okay,
that would have
right, right.
given them the time where he was at home. So
Because
this
I
is
do
the
see at
alarm.
9:32 a.m. he's returning home. It says.
See, this is the Elantra before he got the Washington State plate, and this is his haphazard ass way of mounting it, which
Hmm.
you can see it's high up there. Which I mean, to his credit, there's not much. He may not even mounted it. He might have paid somebody to
And
do
you
this.
see, he doesn't have the bug guard yet at this point either.
No, he does not. So, and I don't remember seeing the bug guard on. We really can't tell when he got stopped for the crosswalk. Do you remember seeing the bug guard on the crosswalk?
Oh, you never see the front of the car in that video.
Okay. But see, this is the only reason I'm showing this is because of before and after. These are the photos they showed on Dateline.
But I mean,
When
I
I
can,
did.
it's too bad like cops don't, walk around the vehicle with the body cam on. But I can understand if you're pulling over somebody dangerous, the last place you want to be is in front of their car with
Right
them in the car.
under their car.
Right? Yeah, yeah. That's where you end up.
Yeah, yeah, that's what you said. And these are some still shots that are on that Plunder thing, but this is a perfect shot right here. Here's the shark
Yeah.
fin. There's the line that you're talking about. It lines up perfect. It's almost like it lines up perfect with the lights. Like whoever designed this said, we're going to make it line up with the lights and make it symmetrical. See, there's the little.
Well, actually, you know what? Looking at here, can I share this real quick? Take a peek and see the cars. Oh, hold on.
If you're here still watching, say hello. Let us know you're here. Let me take this one off.
Yeah. So like, if you look at it, wait, let me make sure the music's off. Yeah. Okay, let's look at the driver's side. Actually, that line, I think it looks like, so it does come off the tail light, but it looks like it lines up with like going over the top of the wheel. It's not necessarily aiming for the front light, which would kind of be cool. Well, I guess it's a two-way thing. You know what's interesting? Like if you think about the shape of the light, isn't it kind of similar to like blood, the way blood splatter would be? You can tell which direction it hits. It's
Yeah.
thicker here, trails off, and then goes this way. So
So his,
basically,
so his is a 15.
yeah. So his is over here. Which, I mean, do you see any difference in any of them except for the fog light? The front fog light is the only giveaway that I can see with the years from this side angle,
Well, 14, the light
right?
was a lot smaller.
Yeah. So
The
let me
backlights weren't as
oh,
defined. See the
back it
blue
up a
one?
little bit.
The 14? The backlights weren't as pointed.
Is it less pointed, or is it just that because it's darker, it's harder to see?
Maybe it's the way that the photo is.
But see, here's the real indicator is these
Yeah.
bumper reflectors. You can see
No,
11 and 13.
because the car company do try to fool us. They want to tell us that we're getting different vehicles, but it's basically the same vehicle with just one little extra difference
Right.
maker, kind of like the iPhones. You notice every year you buy the same iPhone with just a different added component.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times too. I mean, the camera they do beef up the camera. But see how the fog lights have a or area
Yeah.
is like a boomerang shaped V shape on these
Let the
three.
audience know which one his vehicle is, Jeff. The
Yeah, so
215,
that's
right?
this one. Yeah.
Okay. So with those fog lights, Cameron, I'll show that other picture here in a minute, and we'll be able to see whether there's lights in there or if it's just black. Because I'm not sure he had fog lights.
Yeah, you should look at the. You have the photos from the where the cars in the garage, the evidence garage.
Yeah, I'm gonna show it. Let get this one. Get your stuff off for a second.
Get that out of here.
Okay, let me get back up here. Hope you are enjoying our dive into this. This is what we do. I mean, this is in no way trying to convince anybody of anything. See these? I have a better fit picture than this, but I was looking at this picture earlier, and I even did some kind of lighting this up a little bit.
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell
Those
you
are
what
those are the still pictures.
I'm gonna tell you what you see. Okay, you see a guy in here, and it looks like he has either a red or an orange looking shirt on, and that looks like a t-shirt underneath it. But you can see dark hair right here. I believe that's him, but that's just me.
Where
You
were
can't
the
see, you can't see clearly, but I mean that's definitely a guy, and that looks like a red shirt with the t-shirt because the color changes from darker to light. And here's the facial structure. Somebody said they never knew Brian to wear a ball cap. I don't see a ball cap. I just see hair right here. And that would be his face. But I could be wrong. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but I could be
where
wrong.
was it that you saw the still photos? How did I miss those when I tried to download from Plunder?
They're at the very,
Oh, okay. I think I see them now.
and here's another still shot. This is the one we were talking about earlier. No license plate because you saw where the license plate was. So if you're looking at this vehicle and it's going on these cameras, and you're noticing that this same vehicle doesn't have a license plate, would you not believe in your mind that this would be the same car? I mean, in my mind, I can question would this be a different car, but what are the odds of two vehicles driving on the same road, heading in the same direction at exactly almost the same time? Because these vehicles would have had to been on top of each other to reach each camera at the same interval. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And the
Does
thing
that,
that I don't get is when I don't know how people if they can look at this and say, "Oh, that's the." Well, I don't know if they would here. This is over at WSU, but
and see, here's the fog lights. It doesn't look like his car has any, but here are the or the four little holes for the license plate. The license plate would have been right here, and that's the nice little added feature that you didn't see in this car, in this one, and you don't see the license plate that you saw. Where the hell is that? Okay, hold on. That you don't see here. People probably already know my name. I don't care if you dox me. See, you don't see it right here, but you do see it right here after the murders. And what you notice here when the lights are on, that's another thing to really look at too. Don't you think that if his lights had any kind of what that called condensation, that
You mean
happens to
like when they
light?
get foggy?
Yes, would that make the lights appear to be brighter than they normally would be because more of the light is being trapped inside, so it's being spread out in different variables versus when they're clear, they're in a straight line. You get what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, yeah, it would be more like a diffusion of the light, like when the sun on a clear day versus sun traveling through clouds.
Yeah, because if these lights were clear, you could almost see in this at night, right? Because I have some new lights I just put on my truck, and they used to be condensed like that, and that's what the light would look like, very dull, and it seemed like most of the light would be entrapped on the inside because of the condensation. Well,
Right.
now that I look at my lights, I can turn my lights on, and you see the inside of the light. So you saw in that one with the lights on that it had the same kind of condensation in the light. I don't know if that really is scientific or anything, but that's what I was thinking earlier when I was looking at these lights. What do you think, Jeff?
Sorry, I'm messing around with trying to what you did where you were trying to see inside the driver's the seat to see if you could. I mean, there's no information that I can see where I can make out anybody there.
I mean, I asked Chat GBT and I sent you the picture. Boy, that would start some controversy, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
See,
chat
everybody, this is
GPT.
Brian. And I saw it on another one. It totally lit up the interior and it showed you a face. It made the car so clear, Jeff. I mean, there's
Uh-huh.
no shadows whatsoever. Chad, I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
agree with my theory on the condensation on the lights, but you know. And another thing to really consider, did he have a sticker right here? I don't see like in
Hmm.
Texas, we have tags that we put right here, like a sticker, and
You
it
still
tells
have
you.
the picture of the car in the evidence garage? Damn, look at that
See, that
window.
one
Is
doesn't.
that?
It doesn't have one.
Well, it's hard to
I
tell
thought
because that
you,
window's so dirty.
yeah, but you would be able to see it because it would be right here.
But I think they might have. Maybe that's chemicals they sprayed on the inside of the windshield.
Can you see that bottom? It says 911. New surveillance just after 911 call.
Is there any other photos of
Y'all
that?
don't run off. Gray Hughes has something about the 911 call, new surveillance photos or videos.
Really? That just posted?
Yeah, it just everybody has something new tonight. Another creator was talking about new footage on the 1112 camera. See, I went around and I even looked on this side to see what the hell this was. And the only thing that I could see right here on this side of the car was that there was a little bit of this area right here is bent right here by the light.
Hmm.
It's kind of up a little bit. Let me see if here it is.
Maybe the hood
Right
isn't
here.
completely latched.
See right here, this little area right here. It's there's something right here that they put this evidence tape on because of some reason. I don't know what it is. I can't zoom in any further. But this one is different than the other side. See how this one is symmetrical?
Yeah.
And I see the ridge line as you were talking about. It does go right to the wheel. But this one does have its own. See it?
Yeah, it's like it trails off the headlight, and then it also trails off underneath it, kind of
Yeah.
parallel and but below from the backlight.
Oh wow.
It's a very cool design. I would like the car if it wasn't associated with a murder.
So looking at this right here, here's the line, right? And then here's the line, what we just saw.
Yeah.
I think that looks so stupid. I'm sorry. Y'all can be mad at me or think that I'm hating, but I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Not because
Yeah.
it's his car. I would say that on any freaking Elantra I ever saw with a bug guard. I've never seen a car with a bug guard. That's why I'm saying that. You get what I mean, Jeff? I'm not trying to be ugly. I'm just
Hmm.
but do you get what I'm saying?
I hope
What you
they. I wonder if they, looked under the bug guard, took it off, and looked under there to see. Like maybe, how do we know that he didn't pull over, lift the hood up, hide the knife in the engine compartment just in case he got pulled over, and he was concerned that something was deposited on the front lip of the hood. I don't know.
very good thought.
I mean, I think I used to know a guy, or at least I heard a story about a guy who used to hide beer, you know, in the in the engine compartment. I think from his family. I think it was an alcoholic trying to keep it secret. Oh no, I know what it was. It was
Hey,
he would fill the windshield washer tank in under the hood with alcohol, and he had a hose run up under the dashboard, and he could just reach it and.
hey, some salty was she commented 29 minutes ago. That's not suspect vehicle number one. I know you heard me say that, Salty.
Oh, the one with the license plate.
Yeah,
Yep.
the one that I accidentally got wrong,
Right. Right.
which
Don't
is
let that happen
fine.
again.
Which is fine. Gray Hughes has the camera in the daytime, just after
Really?
the 911 call. I don't want
Hmm.
to end my live just to go watch because it could be clickbait. You know what I mean?
I'll gi- I'll give you a an assessment.
I'm like, damn it, I could end my live right now. We could all go over there and watch it. But then if it's nothing worth watching, it's going to piss me off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
So like, yeah. Right now it looks like I'm well. Let me make it live. Yeah, he's showing like around. It's showing a view at 12 o'clock on the 13th during the day.
It's showing a what?
Uh, 12 o'clock on the 13th. Oh, so this. Oh, is it? Oh, so I see what's going on. So you should see the moment that the law enforcement arrives, right?
I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, people get enthralled by different things, I guess. So here's the still shot. This is at the very top of the thing that I sent you. See, there's the Elantra. There's the emblem. I can't zoom in on that any further. But there's the shiny emblem right there without the license plate. It's one of the still shots. Here's another one, an overhead shot. And I think we've shown the Elantra in so many different ways that you can tell that there's no mistaking this vehicle for another vehicle. I mean, I've heard somebody say it was a Lexus, something of that nature. There you can see no license plate whatsoever. I mean, we saw this on the video that we were watching a while ago. This is the one where he made the left or the right turn, and I said that he didn't signal long enough. That car looks like it has a Hitler mustache and then a smile. Does it not? I hear you tapping over there.
Sorry, yeah, you do you. I'm just watching Gray. Yeah, I can see the you can see the police car park at 12 o'clock. Actually, just seconds before 12:01, he's parked like down at the end of the street. By the house that's like front and center on the light bulb camera.
I think this is so cool how they organized all these photos. Let me back out of this and
Wow. I mean, this just goes to show you there's still more stuff coming. Do you think is there possibility that you think some YouTubers are just milking this because they know at some point we're gonna receive so much of the stuff, and then something's gonna hit that's gonna make it everybody all say, "Who? Oh, okay, damn, yeah, it's gotta be Brian. It's definitely Brian." And then
I
kind
don't
of like
think
the show's over.
I don't think we'll ever get to that point with some creators, honestly. I don't think
You're
we'll ever
probably
get
right.
to that point. I really don't. I think as long as there's stuff to question, no matter how little it is,
Yeah.
there's a show, you know? And kind of like what we did tonight, we went back and we're talking about the PCA, we're talking about the camera locations, how far away Kopaka apartment was and all that. And I think that's something that people don't do enough research
Hmm.
as
Well,
far
I
as
wonder. We could probably be accused of the same, at least with like the documents, the court documents. But again, I think if your mind is only in like the court system and what can be proven and Anne's strategic methods, and that's where your focus is. I mean, I want to know what happened. I don't want to know how this can be played and presented so that somebody can get away with murder or that somebody, the court proceedings, they're secondary to me as being interesting. They're not as interesting as just let's figure out, how this was done and why we think he's most likely the one who did it.
so in anything we saw tonight, did it change your mind one bit, left or right?
Mm-mm. No,
No.
only that you tried to put that video up with the license plate and pass it off as Brian's. That's the only. I got him. I got him.
I got the
No, I'm just
whole
I'm just
YouTube
kidding.
I got the whole YouTube nation, but you, bro. I got the
No,
whole
but I
YouTube.
think and maybe that says something. Yeah, nothing shift or changes for me, and I'm sure those on the other side they probably feel the same way. What did I hear somebody say? I won't mention her name. I'll just say that it's her. I think,
Okay.
but that is 1,000,000% not an Elantra. I think is what I heard, or maybe was it Brian's car, which is an Elantra. So it doesn't matter. But to make the statement that is 1,000,000% not an Elantra. I don't know.
I mean,
I think we were talking about it earlier. It's like Baghdad Bob from the Iraq War.
yeah.
The reporting out there is their bombs are going off and Americans are tearing the country apart. And everything's fine. Yes, everything's going very well. There's a sale at Kroger. Come check it out. Get your milk.
But Jeff, also, like what we were saying earlier too, some of these individuals that discuss this on a daily, it is just, it's like they don't do anything else. So why would you ruin your cash cow?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If I didn't work, I'll be honest with you. If I had no conscience, or if I wasn't a Christian, I would do the same thing. I really would. I
Yeah.
would get on here and I'd claim he was innocent and try to go against everybody else and flock to the masses and all that. But I can't do that having the conscience I have.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you think
Plus, I
it's
have.
kind of like a bar? If you run a bar, that's your business, that's your livelihood. And then you got some people that want to keep coming in, sitting at the end of the bar talking about the AA meeting they were at last night, and that they're thinking of quitting drinking, and don't you think you'd block those people?
Get
They'd
out of
say, "No,
here.
you got to stay. Yeah, get out of here. We only want like-minded people that want to come in here. Drinking is a good thing."
Well,
You know.
it's kind of like your bar being a country bar for decades, and then all of a sudden you start getting the whole neighborhood being bought up by tech companies, and you're getting all these upper level people, and they're wanting you to play certain music that you don't have in your bar,
Mm.
and they're kicking all the old people out, and they're starting to take over. You're either gonna lose your bar because you're going to stay to the what you know, or you're going to expand and go with the status quo. And I think
Yeah.
that is mostly what a lot of people do on YouTube is, this is their lifeline, this is their job, this is their cash cow. So
Well, and also too, it's funny
would I
because if
hate
you
on
think of
that? Hell no, I wouldn't. But you know what? To get angry and call people names and go to the extreme to protect what you call
yeah,
as integrity is where I don't I don't agree with that. I don't
well,
agree
and
with all that.
you can kind of see and that it's happening because when you see the host of the show with almost no matter what somebody says, oh yeah, I agree. Yes, I agree with that. I agree with that. Everything in there is agreement. There's no like, well, I don't agree with that. It's like, you know,
Like you and I, we agree on a lot of things, but there's some things that you don't agree with
right,
that
right,
I agree with, and vice versa. Does that mean
right.
that I'm smarter than you or you're smarter than me? No, it just means we have a different take on it,
Right,
which is
it causes no problem. It's it's to be expected. I don't know too many people that you know, there's bound to be something with everyone you can find something you disagree with.
but once
Like
again,
which
I'm
is a
not
better
doing
Van
this
Halen singer,
I'm
David
not
Lee Roth
doing
or
this I'm not doing this for cash. I'm not
right,
doing this
right,
for clicks. I'm not doing this to be liked and to be a YouTube celebrity or whatever it is in my own mind. I'm doing this just because I started this as a hobby and I've learned a lot in my
right.
own day job that, I wanted to pass along to other people. And there's been people that used to mod for me and stuff that call my channel boring. Well, that's fine. They're no longer here. So, if it's boring to them,
Right, right.
there's Gray Hughes on right now. There's Jules. She was on a while ago. There's other channels that are on a while ago that are currently that are more exciting with whatever they're presenting.
Right,
If that's
right.
what you're looking for, then go watch them. But don't talk ill of my channel because you don't like the way that I do things. I mean, I have the same right as everybody else who is able
Yeah.
to have a channel. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I think anytime money gets involved, and then when it appears like because of the money and your desire to keep the money going that you edit what you would normally say or what you would normally think. I think that's a problem. And I think that person themselves knows inside if that's what's going on. They know that really they're just they're feeding their audience. And I can understand too. I often wonder, it's like, okay, maybe that's really what it comes down to when I'm blocked so many places. It's like my presence there, because it's wild. I'm just thinking, I'm just typing sentences in a chat room, little words, 26 letters I have to choose from, space bar, puts periods, punctuation. I'm just typing stuff. It's all you can all just hey PKC, it can all be ignored. It's not a huge problem. And to see people like, I've seen people that one time would say like, "Oh, if Jeff H is here, I'm out of here." And then you can almost imagine the creator is like, "Oh my gosh, we got to get rid of Jeff. They're dropping like flies. Everybody's leaving."
You made a perfect point a while ago with the bar. You're the AA guy
Yeah,
walking
yeah,
in talking about how great life is sober, while everybody
yeah,
around you sloshing drunk, calling you every name but your name, and you're still like, okay, brother, we'll sit here and we'll have a conversation. You're not hurting me.
yeah, yeah.
Get him out of here. We don't need this party pooper. He's just a teetotaler. You know what I mean? Like
Damn it,
before I
Jeff.
started drinking, yeah, before I started drinking, all my friends used to get pissed off at me when I came around because I wanted to hang out with them. They're my buddies.
Yeah,
They were drinking, I wasn't. And they'd get so mad because they're like, you're ruining our buzz, bro. You're not laughing, you're not joking, you're not having a good time. You're just, ruining our buzz. I think that's what
buzzkill.
it is, Jeff. Is your
I'm a
dialogue
buzzkill.
your dialogue kills the buzz.
Yeah,
It's kind of like if we're laughing about a joke and then somebody comes in and starts to dissect the joke for us.
yeah,
Get out of here, Harvey. You do this every time.
yeah.
I get it. I've been blocked from places too, Jeff, because to me, their 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 4. It doesn't even equal 6. It doesn't even equal 8.
Right.
It isn't even a mathological equation. It is just
And that's appealing. That's
that.
appealing to people, I guess. They might as well make a thumbnail. Hey, check us out on our live tonight. 2 plus 2 equals 6, y'all. See you tonight. It's like,
And then
oh
if you go
man.
in and you say, hey, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 6. Oh, God, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah,
Blasphemy, blasphemy.
yeah.
But you notice how many people I don't run off from my chats, and supposedly we're one of those channels where you can't come in and speak your opinion because we'll run you off or we'll call you names.
Right, right. Yeah, I've heard it shared from both sides. There's the YouTuber that's Brian's old buddy, right? And I would hear him often say that he tried to go to a Gilter channel, and they'd run him out of town. And it's like I don't think I've ever. Well, one, it's kind of hard to find Gilter channels. There's not too many Gilter channels. There's tons of Pro Burger channels, but the Gilter channels are not. There's not that many.
I've never labeled mine 12 gauge investigative Gilter channel.
Right.
People give you that name.
Well, I,
Division
I've
is
always said I've always
division
said
is
that the names are not a problem because they help with efficiency. It's like, where do you stand? I know it's kind of like asking somebody to label themselves or put them in a box, but it does clarify things. It's like, well, do you? I mean, how long? What's more efficient? So, do you think that Brian is the one who did it or not? Or do you say Pro Burger or Gilter? You know. So I just like the efficiency of
I
it. Two
like
plus two
that.
equals ABC.
2 plus 2 equals ABC. I like that.
2 plus 2 equals get a fuck out of here.
But I mean, we just discussed exactly what it is, Jeff. And at this 3 year point, I've had a lot of ups and downs with this case regarding audiences. I've come full circle, as you notice in the chat, as you notice in the number of people they're viewing. I've been high up there, and now I'm back down to the low level, which doesn't bother me whatsoever because I've always stated if I got no people watching, I'm still going to go live. I'm still going to do stuff I got to do.
Right.
But getting back to the financial part of it, at the height of my channel, I think the most I've ever made in a month after YouTube takes its $100 cut right off the top, I think it's been like $500. I think that's the most I've ever made. And I was looking the other day and I was doing some research. You have to have 500,000 to 1.5 million before you actually make at least $25,000 a month.
Hmm.
That's a lot of freaking people.
Yeah.
So for other people to
Well,
say,
that's just YouTube money though. When are you figuring in like what about like Cash Apps, Venmos,
well, I haven't
PayPal's?
there for a long time. For 3 months, I was banned. I was
Yeah.
unmonetized for 3 months. This is just the money that I've made in the month that I've been back.
Yeah. I think it says something about the reason you're doing it and where your motivations are. Like the video that I recently posted with the showing that the car passes at 1112 or not the same one, just looped over and over. That's got a song in it that by the Trashmen. You know, the bird is a word.
Yeah.
That's that totally because I've got that song in there. I can't make a dime off it. I could have not put that song in there, but I just felt it was perfect to put in there. I don't care that I'm not making a dime off it. I thought the point that I was trying to make is more important than. But then afterwards, I was kind of thinking, like, man, I hope if anybody did want to show it on their show it on their live, I hope when they hit play and that song played that doesn't screw them up with the. But
Well,
but
something. There's been a live that you and I did, and all we did was talk through the whole thing. They limited the the revenue because whatever reason YouTube found that our content was not ad
hmm,
friendly, whatever.
huh,
Do I delete those videos? No, I keep them up there. Whatever. It doesn't. It really doesn't. You know,
yeah,
if I didn't have a job, YouTube would not be my source of income. It would not be my choice to make money. I just got 10K followers on TikTok.
wow,
Yay! I don't even know.
nice,
I don't even know how to monetize on TikTok, so it doesn't even matter. I could be losing money all this time. Who knows? Whatever. I enjoy it, but um, my point is this: I might get to 10K a year, and I'm still just doing what I'm doing, just because
mm-hmm,
it's something to do, something to talk with my buddy about. It's a shame that people have so much division in their heart that they can't like you because you associated with one person at one point, or you kind of like another channel. I brought them on my channel when they were 100 subs in, right? I brought them up, introduced them to people in my chat. Now they're on another channel and they're pushing them as being a new channel where this channel has been around for a long time. It was a wife and husband channel.
hmm,
And you actually introduced them to me, So the point that I'm trying to make is this, is I've had people on my channel that either they were on here trying to grow their channel with the sub that they see, and they realized that there weren't a lot of people in my chat like they would have thought to be able to go to their side or whatever, you know. But
mm-hmm,
whatever the point was for people to come into my lives and on my panels, I've learned one thing: the real ones stay the same. They're
Hmm.
not about clicks. They're not about views. They're not about anything other than just having a good conversation. The other ones are trying to push their agenda. They're trying to push their education. They're trying to push something.
Well, it's just like a business that makes a really good hamburger. And if that's their goal in the beginning. I just want to make a great hamburger. And then you start to see that, well, it's catching on, and now we're going to expand. And now we can figure out if we do some certain things, we can actually bring in more money. Now we're focused on the money. And then there's the burger starts to like lose a little bit of the attention and the love that it used to get. And then now it's not such a great burger anymore. You got all kinds of money coming in, and then slowly over time, I think eventually people start to say, "Man, it's not as good as it used to be." It's like, what the heck happened?
Right.
And then people probably go through cycles. It's like, man, like you're saying. I mean, it's like it's kind of nice to just have a couple people in the chat. So you don't need to have it be a stadium filled with people
I
watching.
thought that
It's
that
kind of
was the
cool, but
goal.
it's
I thought that that was
right.
the goal at the very beginning. You know what I mean?
Oh, look what PKC just said.
He pled yesterday also. Oh, wow. Did he get life? See, most people plea out more than they take it to a jury trial.
Hmm.
And I think
You
that's
know, it's
why
like
I've always enjoyed going live with you, Jeff, because whether you're people's favorite or whether you're not, you're still the same person here that you are in a chat, that you are on somebody else's panel. I never see a different Jeff in other places. It's always the consistent one. I would think that people would enjoy that you're not two faced.
yeah.
At least what I've seen, I haven't seen you backstab me. I've been lied to from some of my subs. Some of my mods have lied and deceived me into thinking they were a certain person. I've had conversations with them on the phone. I've seen pictures of them, whatever. And they turned out to not be who they were. They
Hmm.
were nobody near who they were proclaiming to be. I've been burned more on this channel than I've been burned in real life, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah.
So if you're watching and you're thinking about starting a channel, Jeff gave me a word of advice at the very beginning. He said he heard somebody tell him to be a YouTube channel is to be careful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think she told me you got to really have a thick skin and
Yeah.
just be ready for for some there's some ugly stuff. Yeah, that was Carolyn over at Mommy Ramblings blog. I haven't been
Yeah.
over there in a while, but yeah, Carolyn over at Mommy Ramblings blog. There's her videos. She still has videos when we remember when the wrecked Elantra was found in Oregon,
Yeah.
and we had the woman who had posted video and photos of that car. She came into the live stream, and because I had invited her, I found her name. I don't know how I found it. It must have been from the video that she posted. I think her name, her Facebook name, was on the video.
Right.
I didn't even have Facebook at the time. I was like, I got rid of my Facebook. I reinstalled it, got on there just for the purpose of trying to message her. She replied and she said, "Yeah, that's me who did the video and stuff." And she said, "I invited her to come on the live." She came up on the live. Next thing you know, we asked her about the car, the Elantra that was wrecked in Oregon. She said, "I can go drive over there if you want." We're like, "That would be awesome." And so she went live and went on her took her phone, was live on our live, and went and looked, got out. looked at the Elantra. This was the middle of the night. It's like midnight. I remember we were all kind of worried for her safety. It's like, should you really be out there in that bad neighborhood,
I
looking at
remember.
this
I
wrecked
remember that
Elantra?
video.
And she like parked her car like a block away just so it would be parked legally. She's like, well,
Right.
I was like, why didn't you just park up behind the Elantra so that it'd be safer? She's like, well, I didn't want any police to come and. And at the time, we were like, we want police there. Shouldn't they be looking into this Elantra? Why aren't they not?
Right. Right.
There's more attention. But yeah, yeah, that was pretty cool. So, mommy, yeah, but Carolyn, at Mommy Ramblings blog was really nice person. She does like these on live streams with like art stuff that you can buy. It's like a not a raffle, but a what do you call it? You can bid on things. But she's pretty
Okay.
cool. But yeah, she has had some. There's some people that have said awful things about her family member that passed away, and just been so mean. I think there's even been some court battles that it gets ugly. But I think the ugliness can be minimized and avoided if you just never give back the ugly that they give you. And I think really the human desire to give back the ugly that someone gives you is very strong. But if you only stop to realize that when you don't give it back, that's what drives them crazy. I mean, it's a biblical principle, to love your enemies because it's like pouring hot coals on their head. It says something like that.
Right.
They get
Right.
infuriated. It's like, why are you not angry back at me? So, but yeah, it can be rough, and yeah, hopefully I appreciate what you're saying because I think it's nice to think. I'd like to think I'm a consistent person. Um, the same Jeff here, there, and everywhere. So
I've even talked to people from the other side. I've even made plans to meet up with them or whatever, and on some of my trips or whatever. And their loyalty to YouTube obviously is more important to them than actually being a real person. You know what I mean?
right, they've got a kind of a persona that they've
Yeah,
created for themselves,
it's
and
a disheartening thing. It's like you hear people talk about their brand. It's like, come on, bro,
yeah,
you're on YouTube. You're not on the evening news. You're not on TMZ. I mean, the only people that I've actually seen on News Nation have been Annie Elise. I've seen Gray Hughes on there. I've seen
T Rev
you
had
know,
his 5 minutes of fame on there.
who did?
Remember T Rev? Remember when they
Oh
had
yeah.
when the guy called into his show and they were all wondering if that was
Oh,
Brian
okay.
that had called into the show.
Oh, I've seen
Cuomo, he got on there with Cuomo.
the dude from the interview room. I've seen those type of people. I've seen what that lady's name on Grizzly True Crime. Um,
Yeah,
can't
I know
think.
who you're talking about. She's got the accent.
Yeah, I can't think of her name. Gizla K.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's her name. I've seen her on there. I haven't seen any of these others that proclaim to be the face of true crime.
right.
If I was going to be associated with anybody, it would be the people that actually have been hell worldwide.
Yeah,
I just think sometimes people take YouTube true crime as being more than what it's made to be. I don't believe that. Like my misunderstanding of true crime, I thought true crime was coming on here and trying to give the investigative process on how a crime is associated with the whole dynamic, start to
hmm,
finish. And I was using the Idaho case as just that, and it just got twisted along the way. Started getting,
now who
I
did you
felt like
first watch when you first
oh,
started getting into it? Who did you watch?
I don't even want to say their names on there.
It's history. Come on, it's part of.
Well, I mean, when I first started watching true crime, it was Grizzly. I watched
Mhm.
Grizzly True Crime a lot. I watched Crime Circus. I watched another person that used to be in their chat a lot. Um, I watched, let's see, Annie Elise, Kimberly. I watched Rory a little bit. When what really intrigued me about Rory was the boots on the ground thing. You know what I mean? I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
cool. Thought that was pretty cool, especially when he was right there at the Queen Road Apartments. He was walking around there and giving us the first hand look. I thought that was awesome. But when he was in that hotel room with Tommy on the other line, at that point he started losing trust value with me. Especially after Tommy came out and got his own show, and you could see the correlation in all the people together trying to get a team and all this other stuff. I just never really levitated toward him again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember the thing with Rory. I enjoyed Rory too. I loved when he visited the Jack in the Box where
Yeah.
the DoorDash was supposedly came from, but yeah, when he was talking about underground tunnels, and he had that video of people touring underground tunnels, and it was all blurred out of focus, and but it wasn't blurred out of focus enough that you couldn't see the words on it. And I typed it and searched it, and there were
Right.
like two other videos, the exact same video, in perfect focus. Just did a simple YouTube search, and I remember asking him in a chat. It's like, well, why is it out of focus? Oh, that's how I received it. And I'm like, but why did they blur it? And I don't know. It just seemed to me like, okay, if you can find it that easily in focus, you're choosing to show the blurry one. And there was a news article that came with it. I was thinking it was like a 4 or 5 screens that explained what you were seeing in the video. He had like 3 of the 5 pages there because the two he took out would have explained that it was just a tour of some people under these tunnels. So it wasn't what it was being made out to look like. Yeah, and my trust value went like, you know.
I forgot JLR and I forgot what that dude. Um, God, he came back with two new channels like Murphy something.
JLR was great when he was like boots on the ground. He doesn't seem to like hop on planes anymore, and didn't he? He
Yeah,
always showed up like in the he'd fly. He must like watch the news, get on a plane, somehow end up there. Lately, lately his shows this JLR. He's holding his phone up. Um,
what that
but
name?
still,
Gutta.
clue. Get a
Get
clue.
a clue.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
channel I get to watch. But then I'm like, this dude gets angry at his people. Why am I gonna watch somebody who's gonna scream at the and call the people stupid? You know what I mean?
Was get a clue? Who was no? There was Doc Thrifty that changed his name to. Was he get a clue? I can't.
No, Doc Thrifty is Black Hawk
Oh, right, right,
Magnum
right.
something. Get a clue was Murphy something. He came back with
Uh,
Murphy something. He was the dog Murphy supposedly, but it was get a clue. Get a clue
yeah.
was that guy that was very analytical, and he said that the white Elantra was not the white Elantra. It was a Chrysler 300,
Oh, you're right, right, right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking about now.
and he had a lot of the Linda Lane footage right off the bat. He had the daytime
Yeah.
footage and stuff. Like I said, a lot of people, this is their cash cow. So who am I to hate on them? If they're making money, they're making money.
Well, it's like there's a woman that I used to watch. She's like an older woman. She would do these videos where she would talk about. She would show videos of like this antenna up in the north, and it'd be snowing. Water would get on the lens, and when light would bend with the water in the lens, and she had
Right.
people convinced that these were like alien apparitions, or they were it was just the beginning of an alien invasion that would eventually happen. And you see these super chats from, I think, old people that were like believing her stuff. And it's like, boom, $300 here, $400 there. It's like, and it's so funny that people would always criticize me for having like 11 accounts to chat with. Those 11 accounts mainly came from watching her, and I'd actually put a comment in there, share a link. I think I even sent her some images to prove that what she was seeing was just basic stuff that will happen with camera lenses and liquid, and it you know boom, she'd block me. And I just couldn't resist. I'd watch and I'd see more like senior citizens. I was pretty sure giving like all this money to her and believing her nonsense. And but like you said, that's her cash cow, and that's what you know. But that's the explanation really for all the majority of those accounts that I had. Like remember one of them that I had was "Don't be cray cray." That was
Yeah.
because she was so cray cray, and I was trying to subtly say to her, "Don't be cray cray," because this is nuts. She would see like a speaker, a person speaking from the Pentagon, like a official press conference, and the video would break up a little bit, and the video would look, and yeah, you ever see that movie They Live? You remember that movie? And they were really aliens, but when they started messing with whatever was making them look human, they would start to flicker. Yeah, she was trying to sell it on that. She would say this woman speaking at the podium at the Pentagon is an alien. You can see on this frame where it breaks up. And then I would send her a link, and I say, well, here's a link to the same video from a different camera that doesn't do that. It's
It's almost like you're
freaky.
correcting something that you believe that you're helping. It's kind of like I was watching a show one time and somebody was looking for the 911 video
Hmm.
and you had just enhanced it and you were telling them in the chat, "Hey, I can email you that. I got that. I just enhanced it. Hey, over here. I got the video. I
Right.
got the call. I got the enhancement. Uh, uh, no, anybody have that video they can send me? Anybody? 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 Over
Anybody
here, over
not
here, over
Jeff
here. Anybody? Anybody? I guess
Bueller?
nobody has
Bueller?
it. I guess
Yeah.
nobody has it. Type, send a super chat. I have it. Oh, thanks for the super chat. I guess nobody has the video. I guess nobody has the 911 call.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
I mean,
funny. That's funny.
I'm not making fun of anybody. So if you're watching this and you're one of these people, don't think I'm coming at you because I'm way over that. I've been over that for a long time. I'm just I'm just sharing experiences because this case has brought out the craziness in a lot of people. I've seen it's caused a lot of people health problems, whether it's real or whether it's not. Life should never be that serious for you that it causes you health problems over somebody else's stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I could see how it could happen. When I used to do it live every night, I could see how this could drain you to the point of mental, physical, and health exhaustion because you're not eating, you're sitting at a place for hours on end, talking, thinking that you're doing all right, but you're not you're not living life.
Yeah.
I
But
enjoy
there's
it.
a it,
It's
there.
like I'm not bashing it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's consequences to it.
But I think there's some that get that. Maybe they get that feeling that like, well, I'm getting uh, a lot of. Look at all these subscribers. Look at all these people watching. I I must be important. I must be special. you know, when really it's we're all special. I think the one thing that I think is interesting that has happened to me over this whole YouTube thing is the going on live streams, talking like this. I used to be a very, very shy person, and in the beginning, I don't think I felt comfortable doing this kind of thing, and this has helped with like because when you're just having a conversation, it's live, it's happening right now. There's no script, there's no notes, it's a wonderful way to be. I notice that at my job sometimes. Some of the people that are younger, I when I'm talking to them, and I like to just kind of make jokes, and I see them go, that thing comes up, and they're like, wait, that was funny. Wait, should I laugh? Wait, what should I say? And you see the slowness to, because they're so concerned about, I gotta say the right thing. I gotta, what's somebody gonna think? And I guess there's such a freedom that comes, like, well, you really don't care what somebody thinks. Now, I'm not out to like be rude or anything, or be an a hole, or be
But
disgusting.
that's an interesting thought that you're having there right now, because the whole world has this belief that they're so important that the cameras are watching them every step, every moment. Their hair had to be perfect. I go to the gym at 5 in the morning. There's women in there with their makeup on, their hair done, their outfits pristine, and I'm like, how I rolled out of bed probably 10, 15 minutes ago, put on some cologne or some deodorant, brushed my teeth, and came to the gym. You look like you're going to a club,
Yeah,
because it's all about, I got to set up the tripod. I got to show you how I'm working out. This is my life. I'm an influencer.
yeah,
Remember when you had to really write a song and actually play the song and actually do the groundwork to actually be discovered and given a record contract? Now you can do all that from the comfort of your home and make money if
yeah,
you're found on social media and you go viral. You don't have
yeah,
to put in you don't have to put in the work anymore.
yeah.
Everybody
Love
can
that.
say they're a rapper now. Everybody can say that, I'm a what do you want to call it? I'm a medical examiner, or I'm a lawyer, or I'm an attorney, or anything, without having to have the actual knowledge or footwork
Right.
to get there. I mean, I don't knock anybody who had life experiences that have led them to be somebody important through growth and knowledge. I'm not saying education always equals intelligence. I'm just saying that just because you have an opinion does not mean that your opinion is scientifically founded.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think too, it's good. Well, it makes me think of like Mormon missionaries. These are young people that go out door to door and meeting people. They they learn, I'm sure, very quickly that they get their doors slammed in their face. They get rejected. That rejection is, I think, character building. And I think it's one of the. I mean, I don't agree with a lot of stuff with the Mormon Church, but I do think it. There are some great people that come out of it, and that I've known and I know. But I think that kind of experience is maybe not a bad thing with YouTube as well. You know, you develop that thicker skin. You're not thin skinned. You learn to. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Hey, hold on.
It's been 3 hours. Where are you? Well, I think that's the cue for us to kind of wrap the show up, y'all. It has been 3 hours, and I got to get some dinner. Jeff, thank you so much for being on the channel. And thank you guys who hung in there. I know we kind of went a different direction toward the end, but that's part of the podcast. It doesn't always have to be scripted or one dimensional. Able to have a conversation and actually be human. If you're watching this on replay, thank you so much for taking the time to invest your time and your energy in watching the channel. And I hope that you feel comfortable
Hey, I
enough
better
about.
sign off, 12. Hey, it's been a great chatting with you. Great seeing everybody here. Um,
Thank
y'all have a
Jeff.
great night. All right, bye
All
bye.
right, you too, man. What I was saying is, I hope one day you feel comfortable enough to come into the chat. I know some of you aren't chatters, and if you only come in and say hello, and you're gonna be on the sideline, that's fine. I appreciate it. Do understand you don't need to donate any money to me or even do anything to be a part of this community that I represent. As you can tell, you just have to be yourself and be respectful. But that seems to be very hard for a lot of people these days, and that is the state of the world in which we live. But once again, thank you so much for being here, PKC. I'm glad you made it home safely. Um, Layla, you and I know that G Sager, that's not your real name. I've seen your real name before. Thank you so much for being here. And anybody else who's been here that didn't chat, thank you so much for giving me the time. And Mary Jane Doe, thank you so much for being here. You guys, are more than welcome to come back, and I hope that you do. I don't do as many lives as I used to. I do a lot more shorts, and it kind of coincides with the time frame that I have with life. Very busy these days. But I'm going to quit talking. I'm going to let Maestro cue that music, and y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe out there and watch over your loved ones and hope they stay safe as well. See you soon.